Today on Doomed! Are you ready to rumble? And that has a dual meaning on this episode of Doomed with Matt Binder. Because we are just, as we're, live right now on YouTube, and if you're listening to this as a podcast, just literally hours earlier we recorded this for you all. But we're headed into the first Republican presidential primary for the 2024 election season. And as we're headed into that primary, the first time many of these guys, minus Donald Trump, will be on the same stage together, we will also, at least some of us, be watching this on the conservative right-wing video platform Rumble. That's right, Rumble has partnered with the RNC and I guess Fox News to make this all happen on their platform. And joining me now to discuss Rumble, this upcoming debate, and really what this means for the platform and for people who are going to come across Rumble as they look for a place to watch the debate, is Media Matters for America Research Director Kayla Gogarty. Kayla, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Matt. Thanks so much for having me.
And thank you for coming on just, as we're headed into this debate. Right before we went live, I was talking to you about how, this morning I woke up and it hit me that, tomorrow is the Republican debate, the first one of the season. And I, as I usually do now in the years where I no longer have cable, I did the classic Google search, how to watch, insert what you want to watch here without cable. And for this specific debate, it came up that I could watch it on Rumble. And I was actually shocked. I didn't realize until today that Rumble was going to stream this. Now, did they have to partner with the RNC or with Fox News? Did they work with both organizations here? Because this is a Fox News debate, right?
Yeah, it's a Fox News debate, but the RNC, when they announced that they would be, hosting the debate exclusively on Fox News, they also announced that they would be exclusively streaming it on Rumble. So this was announced, a few months ago, and it's extremely dangerous because, as you said, somebody that just wants to, watch the debate on a platform other than, cable TV, they are going to go to Rumble. And what most people, don't know about Rumble is that it is home to, right-wing misinformation, hate speech, bigotry, conspiracy theories. And my biggest concern is that, as people log on to Rumble to watch the debate tomorrow, they might be brought to other extreme content on the platform.
Right. I mean, it didn't even dawn on me that, my regular, reaction to seeing it on Rumble, I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I guess I'm watching Rumble tomorrow. It didn't even dawn on me till literally right before we went live when we were talking about that people were going to do that. It's really sort of like a, sort of like you don't gotta hand it to them, but I guess you sort of gotta hand it to them, thinking this out hey, normies who aren't familiar with Rumble and what we have on there are going to be looking for a way to watch this debate. This is a mainstream political party, their presidential debate. You got Ron DeSantis up there. You got Mike Pence. You got, who else is even going to be in this? I don't remember. Tim Scott. You got...
Vivek Swamy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 other people too. It's 8 total. So this is the major Republicans, again, other than Trump, who are going to be on the debate stage. And people are going to, there's a lot of people who don't have cable. And you're not going to be able to watch it on foxnews.com. I mean, again, don't want people going to foxnews.com either. There's really a no-win situation here, right? But you don't want people going to foxnews.com, but you definitely don't want them going to rumble.com, which has even got, it's worse than Fox News, if you can believe it.
Yeah, and this has definitely been a strategy of the company more broadly, trying to get broader swaths of audiences to come onto the platform. Because it initially did start off where a lot of, more fringe figures had been on the platform, and it, had a lots of conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But it has continued to have this harmful content, despite them trying to bring in, additional creators that are considered a bit more mainstream to the platform. They actually have announced, a bunch of partnerships with creators. They have this program called Rumble Exclusives. So, some creators that they also, might be streaming on YouTube. They also are going to make some exclusive content for Rumble as well. And I think,
Right.
go ahead.
No, let's get into this because I do think people should know a little bit about the history of Rumble and sort of where the platform has sort of, I guess, grown and how they're, because it wasn't always like this. Like, I actually remember in the very early, 2020, I guess, before they completely decided to, because the timeline, if I remember it correctly, is, in 2020, a lot of these mainstream social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter pre-Musk, they were cracking down on a lot of misinformation because they were dealing with the rampant COVID disinformation that was spreading. And then with the election coming up, they decided, all right, we really gotta, they were getting bad press left and right from everybody. And it was, they felt like they had to at least do something on their face so that they could show that they're trying something to deal with it. And so a lot of these platforms basically shut down a lot of really Trump, pro-Trump figures because they were a major part in spreading election disinformation. And a lot of these, influencers and streamers and YouTubers and, online posters, they were looking for new outlets. That's the time period in which Parler blew up, which is no longer with us. It's the period in which like Getter came out, which is barely hanging on. Truth Social came out a little bit later than all those, but, that's basically just the Trump PR newswire now. It's basically no one else uses it for anything but to monitor what Trump is up to. But Rumble emerged sort of like among all these like, sort of Facebook and Twitter wannabes as the video platform for conservatives. And because I guess, video platforms are a lot more expensive to run, and Rumble already was an existing platform with an existing infrastructure, they were sort of able to be the one and only, video platform for conservatives. And because there was no competition and not many other alternative platforms out there, they've been sort of the only one of that like alternative social media era to actually come out of those years sort of stronger than it was going into it. I think that's part because Rumble existed, like I mentioned prior, like it wasn't just set up specifically to be for conservatives. They just sort of pivoted that way.
Yeah, they pivoted. I believe the company was initially like founded in 2013. So it's been around for several years. But we saw after the 2020 election, creators that, as you said, were suspended or banned from other platforms due to violating those policies were, enticed to come over to Rumble. And I think one of the things that are particularly notable is some of the financial backing that Rumble has had. So right-wing personality Dan Bongino was one of the earlier backers, and he encouraged other right-wing folks to come on over to the platform. We've since seen Republican Senator J.D. Vance has had financial ties to the platform at some point. We actually have also, in a recent financial disclosure, it was revealed that Vivek Ramaswamy, who will be on the debate stage, owes millions of dollars in investments in Rumble. So they had some of these financial backings as well that I think helped encourage right-wing personalities and media figures to be on the platform.
Right. And like, I'm so glad you brought those guys up because thinking about it now, like a lot of them, especially Dan Bongino, I remember like he got in super early, like literally before it even like fully was like embraced as the official right-wing video platform, just when it was starting to pivot. I mean, I think I like stumbled across it like even before it did the pivot, and they were literally just like paying people like, 10, 20, $30 or something to post like America's funniest video type content, like weird funny animal videos and like, grandma tripping in the backyard and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it's like home to all these major right wingers. But like you said, with some of these conservatives, they probably already made out like they usually do, like bandits here, money wise, because due to all this hype behind Rumble, they were then able to go on, and actually they're now like again they're traded on the stock exchange. They joined an SPAC, which is basically like a shell corporation that's set up to, give these sort of companies a spot on the stock exchange. And these guys got in early. Certainly, who knows if they sold or not? I don't know if that's public information out there, but I'm sure they made sure that they were well compensated.
Yeah, and I think that also the marketing that Rumble does, like calling itself this free speech alternative to YouTube, really tapped into an existing right-wing narrative where conservatives have been saying for years that they are, censored on mainstream platforms. Despite Media Matters and others have repeatedly debunked that. So it's not true that we're being censored on these platforms, but Rumble was able to tap into this existing narrative and say, okay, you're being censored on YouTube, come on over to us, you can say whatever you want. And I think one of the loopholes that we have seen be created as a result of some of this is that we see creators start streams on both YouTube and Rumble. And then at some point towards the end of like the YouTube stream, they'll say, okay, everybody go over to Rumble. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the topics that we can't talk about on YouTube, the more incendiary content, or have guests that couldn't be on YouTube. So we saw recently with a misogynistic podcast called Fresh and Fit, they actually started on YouTube and then later on in the stream told users to come on over to Rumble to see white nationalist Nick Fuentes come on to the show and things like that. And that's just one example of some of the, extremism that we're seeing on, Rumble, and how creators can kind of bridge their audiences to this more extreme platform.
Right. So you have people actually going live on mainstream platforms like YouTube and Twitch,
Yep.
and then basically like just using it to let their larger follower base on those platforms know that, hey, we're going on Rumble where we can say whatever we want. But, like you mentioned, that's like, it's like the same way that YouTube isn't like the super censorship platform that Rumble's pushing. Rumble's also not like this quote unquote free speech haven either. I'm sure you'll tell me more details about that. But one specific thing I remember that I want to explicitly mention here is I think it's still in their terms of service to this day, but they explicitly say anti-fascist content, Antifa, is not allowed on Rumble, which might be one of the more bizarre specific addendums in a terms of service I've ever seen.
Yeah, part of the reason they do have a terms of service, and that does include, anti-Semitism, for example. And that is in large part because they must, in order to be an Apple's App Store or the Google Play App Store, they need to have a certain level of policy and moderation of the content on their apps. So they do have some of these policies. We've seen minimal enforcement of these policies, but I will say there have been several instances in which anti-Semitic content has been removed from the platform, or, like I said, white nationalist Nick Fuentes, who's on the platform, he was suspended from live streaming for a short amount of time because he had posted anti-Semitic content. So we have seen some of these policies enforced, but it has been pretty minimal.
Right. So what has been like now you've been monitoring Rumble, so what has been probably like, because I've been going on there, and I know, and I'm gonna have Jason from Media Matters on a future broadcast to talk more specifically about Steven Crowder's life as it is right now. But let's touch just briefly on Crowder is someone who I've seen on Rumble, and it's been reported by Media Matters and other outlets about how, he hasn't been able to see, he's moved to Rumble, but he hasn't been able to see the same success he had on YouTube on Rumble. And, my guess is that, a lot of people are on YouTube, whether Steven Crowder wants to admit it and other conservatives want to admit it or not. The YouTube algorithm was very friendly to them. I mean, friendly is probably being too kind of a word. It strictly, it made them as popular as they are today because it pushed and promoted their content so often that without the YouTube algorithm, the combination of the YouTube algorithm and YouTube's very large built-in audience, people aren't specifically seeking out Steven Crowder in general. I mean, especially not on Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think that is one of their weaknesses because they don't have that built-in audience. But I think one of the things that we've seen more recently is that part of that exclusive creator partnership that they have been trying to bring in gamers, pranksters, more culture-focused channels. And by doing so, they're trying to say that, diversify their audience. But we've been monitoring, Rumble, and in particular, Rumble has a daily leaderboard of the most liked videos on the platform. And we've been monitoring that for about 6 months now. And we largely find that the most liked videos that appear on that leaderboard are going to be, videos from QAnon supporting channels, from other right-wing figures that push hate speech and misinformation. So we are seeing that despite them trying to diversify these creators and trying to get others to come to the platform for some of these more diverse creators, the content that is more successful on the platform so far has been this right-wing conspiracy theorist type content.
Right. Like, I'm looking at Rumble's homepage right now. And if I was a platform trying to make it seem like, okay, we're not just a right-wing only platform, I probably would make sure my homepage did not look like Rumble's. Like, I'm on here right now. The main, taking up more than 2/3 of the page is the featured broadcast from some right-wing conservative, Robert O'Neill, who I think this is the Bad Words podcast. And I think this is the guy who claims he was the one who officially shot and killed Osama bin Laden. And then if you scroll down, the top categories are Republican politics, podcasts, news, but you look at the podcast and news section and it's all also right-wing content. And then when you get to non-political content, it's like C-level MMA fighting, like not like the main stuff, even though they do seem to have a partnership with UFC, and which again not surprising based on the politics of MMA. But and besides that, there are a bunch of gamers on right now, but they've got like barely any views. These are like Z-level gamers. Like, it's not like we're not talking about the big names you see on Twitch and YouTube. And listen, I'm not like knocking Rumble for, not being successful. I'm knocking them for going, like, it's clear that this is not like algorithmically driven. They are specifically picking a lot of this content to show on here, because some of this stuff just it makes no sense otherwise.
Yeah, they definitely do promote a lot of right-wing content because that is largely what is on the platform. But as I kind of mentioned, they've been using this kind of exclusive content program to bring in some of these additional audiences. So maybe like somebody who follows their favorite gamer is suddenly now having some exclusive content on Rumble. They're going to go to Rumble and similar to as the debate tomorrow, you go on Rumble and then you stumble on some other content. I think one notable example is that former GOP representative Devin Nunes, he went on a QAnon show and said that he found the show because he had just been on Rumble, scrolling around. So that is an exact example of how somebody could, go onto Rumble for some other kind of content and then, be bridged into this more extreme content.
Right. I know When I look at the there's like a trending section on Rumble. I mean, like some of these are not surprising. Dan Bongino, he's an investor in Rumble. He was there since the beginning. And then you get to people like the X22 report, which is explicitly a very large QAnon adjacent at the very least. I don't know if they're still pushing QAnon explicitly, because it seems like, QAnon content explicitly in that way is sort of waning with that audience. You have to be a little more subtle about it because, of course, they like to pretend that QAnon doesn't exist. But, that's one of the main channels. And then you have the people who were specifically paid by Rumble, like just to do their shows, like Russell Brand, Donald Trump Jr., Glenn Greenwald. Like, these are guys who you question whether they would even be on there if Rumble wasn't outright paying them upfront to do their shows on the platform.
Yeah, the X22 report is one that is pretty prominent on the platform. That is one that we see repeatedly on the leaderboard. So one of the most liked videos, each day. And the X22 report is actually the one that Nunes had gone on and said that he had stumbled across it by just scrolling around on Rumble.
Right. Do we have any inclination on exactly what do we know what Rumble's like when they approach someone? Do we know, other than I guess just being insanely popular, do we know how they pick who to go for? Like, for example, it was interesting to me, like obviously his content now is not surprising, but it was interesting at first when they reached out to Russell Brand. I guess he probably was already, going that way on YouTube and they saw that coming. Glenn Greenwald, basically the same trajectory as Russell Brand, but much earlier. Do we have any inclination of when, what they look for in these sort of, the heterodoxical streamers and not the ones who are just outright right wing?
Yeah, they've told investors recently that part of their strategy is to diversify their audience by bringing in these, more diverse creators. So yeah, Russell Brand is someone that they point to as, liberal on the platform, despite, we've seen him repeatedly push right-wing conspiracy theories and misinformation on his show. But that is someone that they have tried to point to and say, oh, look, we have a more diverse audience and more diverse creators. So we've been definitely seeing more recently that a lot of the exclusive content creators that they are bringing in is a step towards them trying to say that we're diversifying content. But we've seen time and again that a lot of these streamers push right-wing talking points, misogyny, hate speech, etc. Like Steven Crowder does put exclusive content on Rumble now, and he's one of those creators that will start off on YouTube and then move to Rumble, and we've seen him we've seen him say anti-gay and anti-trans slurs on Rumble. So they're definitely failing they do have some policies against that sort of thing, and they're failing to enforce those policies, but they're allowing, these creators to specifically come over and, use this sort of incendiary rhetoric and harmful rhetoric.
Do we know how much? Do we know exactly who they're paying up front and how much they are paying these people? Because I know they're a publicly traded company. I don't know if this information has been released. Because I'm seeing also, like, you see some smaller streamers on there who I remember this individual made a big deal about leaving YouTube to go to Rumble, the Quartering, for example. And then, I see, for example, Rice Gum isn't a political streamer at all. No. I guess his peak is sort of waning. He's a former guy who would do a lot of stuff with the FaZe Clan. He's like a video game streamer who I guess signed a deal with Rumble. Do we have any idea what the details are with some of these streamers?
Usually what we find is that Rumble announces in some sort of blog post or post on social media that they've added and created these partnerships with these creators. So, like you said, Rice Gum, for example, was one of the more recent ones that they announced. But there is no reporting on how much, these partnerships are worth or anything like that.
Right. Now, two streamers I want to explicitly mention too. Because I was actually, not surprised that they, wanted to get paid. I'm sure they got paid probably more than any of these right-wingers, actually. But, like, unlike everyone else who's either a right-winger or, their peak has long passed. That ship has sailed. I Show Speed and Kai Sennett. I don't know how to say his last name, but these are two guys who are huge, especially with younger people who aren't. They don't do politics. They just stream playing video games, but they're not explicitly video game streamers either. I Show Speed. His videos where he attends soccer games, cheering for Ronaldo, go super viral. Kai is the guy who unintentionally started that riot in Union Square a couple Fridays ago that became national headline news. Like, these two guys are huge, and they teamed up to do a stream on Rumble that was pushed hard by Rumble. Like, they obviously didn't just show up and decide to do it. Rumble courted them and paid them quite well, I'm sure, ahead of time to do these streams. But I was actually surprised to see that. Do we have any more information about that? And what has Media Matters noticed anything about whether those two guys brought anything to Rumble in exchange for that in terms of like popularity and audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just part of that strategy to bring, more diverse, creators and a broader audience to the platform. It's unclear how much Rumble has, at their disposal. But it's definitely notable that some of these creators have been enticed to join the platform. And it's particularly concerning because, like you said, they have some more younger audiences that might, go to Rumble because that's their favorite creators, and they might stumble on some other more extreme content.
Right. Now that's the shocking thing to me too. Like you just mentioned, like they're obviously throwing a lot of money out there. It's not really it's undoubtable that Rumble, for all these alternative social media platforms, they are the most successful. But that doesn't mean that they are successful, period. Like, we don't know how much they're making. When you look at the content on there, it's hard to believe that there's many advertisers. I mean, we all know that Twitter is having tons of issues with courting advertisers to come back after they, greatly opened up the content floodgates over there. And Rumble is a much less mainstream platform. Much more is allowed on there. It didn't have an existing advertiser base like Twitter does, and they're able to, I guess, still go back to and depend on some of those big advertisers. Rumble doesn't have that. I mean, you go on there, you're inundated with, just like you were when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News, like ads for gold and things like that. I know that Peter Thiel put lots of money into Rumble. I think JD Vance invested in Rumble. I'm just looking up really quick. I mean, I don't. It's
Sachs, I believe, as well.
Who else? I'm sorry.
David Sachs, I believe.
David Sachs, right? Yeah. The PayPal mafia. These guys really have done so much for the world, haven't they? But it's like really like it just, to me, it just doesn't add up. Like, the money that they're throwing around, like, it doesn't seem, whether they've used it up yet or not, it just doesn't seem sustainable. Like, do we have any idea in terms of revenue what they're bringing in?
I know that, so as you said, they do have some advertising. A lot of time it's kind of more, more smaller, like kind of, like you said, gold and other things like that. I think we've seen Truth Social, advertising on the platform. I think some of the other avenues is that, like, they do have a partnership with Truth Social as well, where they provide like servers to Truth Social. So I think that they have some additional, streams of revenue in terms of some of that.
Right. I'm really quick looking at the most recent I could find, the first 9 months of 2021, which really should have been, really big for them. Yeah. I mean, it's possible they've grown since then, but I can't imagine that they would be any bigger than the peak of the whole Rumble is the place to be, sort of talking point that was spread all over the place. They generated 6.5 million in revenue, but was not profitable. I mean, it's not a lot.
No, yeah, and they've since, like you said, they're with an SPAC now, I know that they're originally a Canadian company and now they've expanded like into the US. They have offices here. So they seem to be expanding. And, as you said, they're bringing in some of these creators that, we don't know how much money they're offering them, but it seems to be significant.
Right. It'll be interesting to see, I guess. Like, have you or Media Matters based on like tomorrow? Have you considered what the fallout can be? Like, do we think that we're going to potentially see a big turning point moment for Rumble where they're all these millions of eyeballs going to their platform, or is this going to be a scenario where, maybe people aren't even that interested in the debate because Trump's not going to be there?
Yeah, I think either way, regardless of how much of an audience they get tomorrow, I think the RNC partnering with Rumble helps to normalize the platform, which is extremely dangerous. And they've already announced that they'll be also exclusively streaming the second debate as well. So it seems like this partnership with the RNC is also going to continue.
Wow. So do we know if like Fox, is this going to be like them just re-airing the Fox News stream, or did they have to work specifically with RNC to get their own setup? Like, do we have any idea? Because it'd be interesting if like this was like, is this a partnership with the RNC or with Fox News? That's what I'm wondering here.
It wasn't too clear exactly what the setup is going to be, but when Rona McDaniels did announce it, she said, we're partnering with Fox News and we're also partnering with Rumble. So it seemed to be two separate,
Interesting. I wonder how Fox News feels about this, because it seems like, if you're going to go to, I'm going to assume that if you go to Fox News tomorrow to watch the debate, you got to either log in with your cable company login, or you need to sign up for their paid service, Fox Nation. Most of these debates aren't free to watch online.
Yeah, and when she announced it, she specifically said, we're trying to get away from big tech censorship. So she invoked that sort of narrative that we've been, seeing for years as well.
Okay, really interesting. I am really wondering if how Fox News feels about this. I mean, they really don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Once RNC.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Rumble said that they're going to be like, right on the homepage. You're going to have like the big live stream. So they're definitely promoting it. And it is interesting. I'm curious about Fox News as well.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Rumble will have my viewership during the debate. It is going to be free to watch, and I'd rather watch it for free than pony up money for a cable subscription, or not that this is even one of the options for me, but give money directly to Fox for Fox Nation. But like it is going to be interesting to see how many people just go there and I wonder if they're going to make you sign up for a Rumble account. That will be interesting to see. Probably not, because it'll probably hurt them, but it would be interesting for them to try out some. It's like that's something like Elon Musk would think of. Like, oh, you gotta sign up for an account if you want to watch.
Yeah, that does sound like something Elon Musk would come up with. But I think with it being on the homepage, I don't expect that people have to sign in. But I think one of the things that is particularly important is like if you do go watch it on Rumble, to be aware of what other content is going to be on the platform, and to be cautious of that. And that's one of the things I really hope that reporters, when they in their coverage of the upcoming debate, emphasize that while it's live streaming on Rumble, they should be emphasizing and accurately portraying what kind of extremism is on the platform.
Right. I wonder who they're going to put on the front page with the debate. Like, that's going to be a big moment possibly for those streamers too. It's going to be really telling, actually. I'm sure it's going to be their own paid for shows, the people they're paying to produce the shows, Greenwald, Russell Brand, those guys. But who knows? Maybe some of those QAnon conspiracy theorists will make it to the front page too. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. My God, I can't believe we're. I guess at least they didn't partner with BitChute, right? It could have been worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
For people who don't know, if Rumble is like okay with turning a blind eye to the anti-Semitic content, BitChute is the platform that's openly like, hell yeah, bring your anti-Semitic content here. I mean, Rumble's not too far away, but I guess there is a noticeable difference. I guess we can say at least it's not BitChute, I guess.
Yeah, this is true. But as you said, Rumble does have a lot of harmful content as well. And the different creators and stuff on the platform now, it's definitely could be enticing to some audiences.
Right. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for joining me tonight to talk about this upcoming debate. And really quick, actually, I know the point was for you to come on and talk about Rumble, but being that I have someone from Media Matters here, is there anything that you all are specifically looking out for during the debate itself tomorrow? I guess it's going to be DeSantis's moment to sort of show that he's actually number two. I mean, it sounds so funny to say it because the guy who's so far ahead of all of them is not even going to be there. So they're basically going to be fighting for second place. But what is Media Matters going to be keeping an eye on tomorrow?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on what sort of content is on Rumble next to the live stream. And we're going to we'll monitor the debate and monitor coverage of the debate to see what sort of right-wing talking points are, pushed during the debate, as well as, how mainstream media covers the debate and hopefully accurately portrays, some of the talking points and misinformation that might come from it.
Kayla Gogarty, Research Director at Media Matters for America. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And if there's anything you would like to, social media handles, links, upcoming pieces you wanna tease, even upcoming reports, I should say, feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me and letting me talk about Rumble, ahead of the debate. I would just, encourage your audience to go to MediaMatters.org, where we have a lot of work on Rumble, the sorts of content that we see on the platform, data studies about the platform, and anything of that nature for any of your audience that would like more information. And you can find me at, most platforms at OKGo, OHHKAYGO.
Kayla, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
It's going to be, it sounds silly, but I just wasn't like, I guess I was half asleep. I wasn't in the mode. I was just looking up, how am I going to watch the debate tomorrow? Which I should add now, it's August 22nd when we're having this conversation. The debate is tomorrow, August 23rd. August 23rd just so happens to also be my birthday. So if you're wondering how I'm going to be celebrating turning 37 years old tomorrow on Wednesday, August 23rd, I'll be celebrating by watching the Republican primary debate. In fact, I'll probably do a stream. I'm debating right now whether to do a stream during the debate, but I know there's going to be a ton of people doing it. So I'm thinking maybe I will obviously watch the stream, but then go live immediately after, when I guess most streamers will be calling it a night, right? I'll let you know though for sure. I'm gonna I'll follow me on all the social media platforms, Twitter, aka X. I'll obviously post it on the public Patreon feed when I create the stream link. It'll be live, obviously, on YouTube and Twitch. Should I go live on Rumble? You know what? I have considered. I mean, I obviously signed up for it to just park my username just in case. But I have considered, like, what if I did just put, like, I'm not gonna be making them any money. I don't have any Rumble viewers, but it would be a good way. I know Majority Report has done it to bait right wingers to call in. I wonder if I could pick up some right wing callers by just streaming on Rumble. I'll have to consider it, but probably gonna do a stream tomorrow. to celebrate my birthday and, of course, the Republican debate. But thank you all for tuning into this episode. It will be up shortly, if you're not already listening to the podcast version, at doomedcast.com. Now, let me let you know how you can support this show. And if you want to, wish me a happy birthday, it's a good way to... Supporting this show is a good way to do that. Let me thank the patrons who, without this show, is not possible. The Patreon page has been waning in members. I guess it's been a tough... it's the summer. People are doing things. I get it. People are, have to cancel because of money issues, job loss. So this is not me talking to you if you're one of those people. But if you got some spare cash, looking to spend it on some of your favorite creators, why not go to patreon.com/MattBinder to support this show? Just like Elia R., Leftist Cajun, and Robin B. have done just this past week. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. Over on Twitch, we got Rude Dog 2525 resubscriber Prime, subscriber for 10 months. Amused Mob resubscribe with Prime. They've been a subscriber for 14 months. Amused Mob says, I really want Warmbo's corn cream. Got no idea what they're talking about. But if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, did you know that you get a free Twitch Prime subscription every month? That means you get to pay one of your favorite creators each month at no extra cost to you, just by connecting your Amazon account to your Twitch account. It comes with your Amazon Prime membership, and you can just give your free Twitch Prime membership to your favorite creator once a month. It does not manually renew. You got to it doesn't automatically renew. You have to manually give that free Twitch Prime membership to your favorite creator each month. And if you're looking for a creator to give it to, why not give it to me at twitch.tv/MattBinder. And of course, the YouTube channel has memberships, paid memberships now. You can subscribe as a paid member through YouTube. If Patreon isn't your fancy, if you do not have an Amazon Prime account, and let me shout out some of those YouTube members right now. We got... your underscore mom and Trent, thank you so much for joining the YouTube membership over the past week. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with all that said, and of course, I will read your super chats in the second half of the show. I will read your what else? Your Twitch chats during the show. Oh, I'll take calls too. Open up Skype, search Doomed Live. It'll come. I think it comes up as Doomed Live _1. But I will take your calls. And yeah, we're gonna go to the second half of the show right now. If you're watching live, or if you're a Patreon member, nothing changes for you. You will see this just like the show is taking a very short break. I don't know what else to say. But if you were listening to the free podcast version of this show at doomcast.com or at Apple Podcasts or at Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, which, by the way, you should leave a review at your favorite podcast platform for this show if you haven't already. This is where I say I will see you all next time on Doomed. Today on Doomed.
Technological collapse. Corporate fascism. Corporate journalism. Police brutality. Voter suppression. Austerity economics. Education masses. Rampant homophobia.
We got our first caller. Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Matt?
Hey,
You from Jamaica?
Dave from Jamaica. How are you doing, my friend? What are we going to be talking about today? I don't think you are exactly what you claim you are. I would say you're a conservative. What makes you a liberal?
I'm pro-Green New Deal.
All right, we are back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second half of the show. Gotta pull myself up on the feed. What's going on? There I am. Geez, got lots of people already trying to call in. I guess we'll take some calls. Let's do it. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Osama. How are you, Matt?
Hey, Osama, how you doing? What would you like to talk about, my friend?
So, yeah, the show that you just had, I I tried to pay attention, but I guess I know about Rumble. It wasn't that engaging, but I didn't even know the first debate's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess not every episode is gonna be for everybody, so I get it. But yeah, the debate is tomorrow. It's, I guess, without Trump on the stage. I guess people aren't really all that interested in it. I mean, I'm interested in it. I think it'll be very interesting to see exactly. So who are? I want to pull up actually who are the Republican primary debate. I want to see who's going to be on the stage. 8 candidates qualify. We got Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson, Tim Scott, and Doug Burgum. I believe Doug Burgum is the guy who gave away the who was literally like paying people to give him donations. Right. He because you needed to hit, I believe, 40,000 individual donors and also hit a certain percentage in 3 or 4 polls.
Yeah.
They get at least 1% in 3 national polls. And I mean, it's obvious that, you know, DeSantis made it. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's been all over the place, so he made it. Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Chris Christie. These are all, you know,
Pence
nationally
barely
known.
made it, I think.
What was
I think
that?
3 or 4 days ago. Pence barely made it, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
He did it a few weeks ago, right? His trouble was the 40,000 donor threshold, which, I mean, makes sense. Who the hell wants Mike Pence? But Doug Burgum is a guy who basically made the stage because he started running ads saying, if you donate $1 to my campaign,
I'll give you $2.
No, even more. We're going to send you a $20 gift card.
How's that legal?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the mayor of Miami did not make it, Francis Suarez. And he was trying all sorts of things. He picked up on Doug Burgum's gift card scheme and he tried his own, but I guess it was too little too late. Before that, he said basically anyone who donated at least $1 to my campaign would be entered into a raffle for Inter Miami tickets to see Lionel Messi play live at a game. I mean, Listen, I'm
show.
a fan of Messi. I'm not
It's
paying.
kind of
I'm
wealth
not giving
redistribution. So,
friends of Suarez money to enter a contest to go see him play, though.
it's wealth redistribution of a kind.
Yeah,
19 times, not 19 times over, 19 more. So I guess 20 times over. You pay $1, you get 20 back. So
right.
at least I guess if some of them generally donated, that's like that's not a lot, is it? 30,000 into 20, 600,000, at most 800,000. That's not a lot for someone with, like, I guess wealthy donors who can. But what's the point? I guess they're vying for a cabinet position or something, or like a more prominent role on the national stage.
I mean, some of them probably think they could win.
No, I don't think anyone. No. Maybe what's his name? DeSantis thought he could win before.
Yeah, I mean,
It'll be funny as Chris Christie will go after Trump. Trump will be doing his what's that thing called? Pence? Not a Pence. What's the guy's name? Carlson interview. At the
What?
same time. Yeah, you didn't hear?
oh no, I couldn't hear what you said. Like what? I was saying what, as in I couldn't hear
How's
you.
my mic?
It's okay now. What were you saying? That Trump is going to do an interview with Tucker Carlson, right?
Yeah, that's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. I didn't mean. I totally forgot to mention it actually. Because I mean, honestly, who's gonna? I don't. Listen, everyone would watch Trump during the debate,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine
Anyone watching?
people are going to watch the Trump interview over the debate, because the debate is live viewing like content, whereas like you could just watch
Yeah.
the Trump interview with Tucker Carlson after the debate.
It's so that's what the Chris Christie is going to attack Trump, and who knows how DeSantis will react to that. That's the only interesting thing I think that's in the debate, and I guess Vivek's weird rapping. If he starts rapping in the middle of the debate,
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. He's just.
I think he is. I think he's like a.
I mean,
he is brown.
What will be interesting to see though is who decides to take the attack Trump stance and who decides to take the defend Trump stance.
I think it's
being
just
that
going to
he's,
be Chris Christie.
I mean, obviously he's going to attack Trump, right? You're correct there, but I mean, it'll
mean,
be interesting
only.
to see who's going to defend him though, because listen,
Yeah.
like that's going to be the thing though, right? Like, if he was on the stage, then of course that's not. Of course they're all going to be every man for himself, but without Trump there, it's going to strictly be win that debate and be seen as the one person who can take Trump on.
Yep.
But there's a huge portion of the base that loves Trump.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like this fine line of saying, I can do better than Trump in the general election, but I like the guy, so I'm going to defend him from anyone who dares not respect what he's done for this party. It'll be interesting to see who takes that position.
Yeah, I that's why I think.
I mean, it won't be Christie. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Christie's
No. I think. I'm not sure, but I think none of them, like the rest, will directly attack Trump. I think some of them will ignore the attacks on Trump, and then the only one I'm interested in is, does Ron DeSantis defend Trump or just not say anything? Because I don't think he'll attack Trump either.
Right.
Pence might, but Pence is like the
they're gonna obviously bring up what Trump's been saying about. I mean, the host, the hosts of the show would be, the moderators, I should say, would be failing their job, which wouldn't be surprising. Being
I mean,
they're
Fox
News.
But,
yeah, but
Fox, it's.
How do you not bring up? How do you just not bring up like Governor DeSantis? You've been, you've caught Trump's ire over the past couple of weeks. He's been saying, you're weak and saying this and that about you. What do you have to say about that? Like, how do you not?
I guess it'll depend on like what Fox and that whole ecosystem is like. On if they've given up on DeSantis, they're gonna say these things. But if they don't want to go too hard on that, I don't think they'll ask, right? Because that will make DeSantis look weak. We know how he answers these questions, and he always looks weak when he does.
Right.
Yeah, that I guess that's the interesting thing is I think Christie will benefit most because he can say Trump's afraid of debating, no one else is attacking Trump. I'm the only one. You all are weak. And he can actually like say stuff in a manner that's entertaining or whatever. I don't know, whatever they like, whatever conservatives like, anyways, about people. The other ones are gonna look like Pence is gonna look like. How he usually looks like some weird manufactured politician. And DeSantis will probably fumble. He's he's so weird. Vivek's the interesting one, I guess, because people don't. He's at 8%, right? But people don't know him that well.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to sort of wait and see what these guys are going to do. And then I'm sure they'll carry that character out. Who knows? I was going to say they'll probably run with that for the rest of their short-lived campaigns, but who knows? I can imagine some of these guys flip-flopping over the next couple of weeks before they end up dropping out because there's no... Listen, it's going to be Trump. It's plain and simple. It's going to be Trump.
Yeah, of course.
Barring some catastrophe. For Trump, it's going to be Trump.
I think, the most likely is Trump goes against Biden, whether it's in, I don't think they'll send him to jail, but whether it's in like captivity as a convicted person or not captivity, whatever, as a convicted person or as a non-convicted person. And I guess the other outlier could be if Biden just suddenly dies. He's old.
Yeah, I mean, it's always Trump, though. I mean,
they both can die. They both can just die.
Right.
They're at that age.
They're both old, right? I guess that's maybe what some of these guys are thinking. Let's stay in case somebody dies. I mean, that's. But some of these guys aren't spring chickens themselves. Like,
I'm sure
some of these guys
still,
running. Like,
I guess if Trump dies before the primary is over, then DeSantis and Vivek have a really strong shot. They're younger as well. They're not unless of course anyone can die, but still.
Right.
Probably.
We're getting really. Now we're getting really I don't know.
The funny thing for me would be if Trump dies and then DeSantis dies and then Vivek dies and then Pence dies.
I'm not touching your scenario there.
Clown show. It's
right,
a clown show, so you can have fun with it.
Right. Well, Osama, thank you so much for the call.
Wait, I wanted to ask. I want to remind and ask. The reminder is for you did message me, but then you forgot to follow up with the messaging. You said, "Oh, hey, there you are," and then.
All right, I'm gonna get back to you. Let's set this up. Obviously, let's make this happen.
Sure.
Probably not next week's show. Maybe the week after. Let's talk on that. And
yeah, okay. And since you do at night, I'm mostly fine with nights, anyways.
Well, you better be, otherwise you can't come on the show.
Yeah, of course. The other thing I wanted to, talk about was all-ins coming up. Are you invested in the stories, or just I don't know?
What?
All-ins coming up this Sunday.
Oh yeah, I've not watched much either AEW or WWE over the past couple of weeks. Summer's rough for wrestling, for me to fit in wrestling. But I am planning on if not watching the entire event, catching up with what happened via clips and
what's
such.
More interesting other than the event itself, of course it's a very big event and the matches are going to be good, is the stuff are happening around it. There was no controversy, and then suddenly Punk's managing who can come in and who can come out. He kicked Christopher Daniels out, who was the head of talent relations. He kicked Ryan Nemeth out. I think he didn't kick Hangman out. That was a misunderstanding. But then he did do a promo with Hangman where he was talking about sales or something. And then Cash.
Cash Wheeler, right? Yeah.
The gun thing, and it's mandatory minimum 3 years or something.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know. Oh boy,
it's
yeah. I don't know what's going on. Always some sort of drama. I'm
that's wrestling. That's wrestling.
this has long been the story of pro wrestling, but anything they put on air will never be as engaging and interesting as what happens behind the scenes.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
the Vince McMahon stuff. I don't know what's happening with that because I think for some reason
Hmm.
Endeavor kicked out Triple H from the board of.
Oh,
I
I
don't
mean,
know why.
I think that was gonna happen because they want to put,
Yeah,
you know,
but they also kicked out Dana White, which is weird.
well, I think they just don't want
Yeah,
to put like people who are that integral to the everyday happenings of the
maybe.
show on the. You know, they sort of want to separate
I,
the two
yeah,
things, I guess.
and the criminal case against Vince and his back pain. I don't know if that's what is it something serious or is it just like something he can do to
I got
avoid?
no idea what's going on with Vince McMahon and his health. All I know is that I'm not saying that this is what this is,
Yeah,
but all I know is anytime there's been sort of there's been sort
controversy.
of investigation into him,
Yeah,
suddenly he has some sort of health issue. If you'll remember when he went on trial back in the '90s, he showed up in a neck brace. It's just like the constant, it's just who he
it's
is.
it, if they go to trial again and he's in like in like you know those beds, recliner beds in the
Yes,
hospitals,
they're gonna
and they're
wheel him
bringing
in.
him in.
Right? Yeah.
He's
Listen,
plugged into like everything.
he knows exactly how to for good or for bad, and for bad, I should say. He knows exactly. I mean, what to do to get away with whatever he needs to get away with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay then.
I'm sure I see there's another regular listener of the show who likes talking wrestling with me, trying to call in. So I'm sure I'm gonna have more wrestling
Yeah.
conversations later today. Osama, thank you so much for the call. Have a great night.
Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you.
Let's go to up. All right, that thing happened where everyone who I um there we go. Everyone who was trying to call in all of a sudden disappeared at once. And now they're all calling in again. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? It's Charlie from Washington.
Hey, Charlie from Washington. How are you? What would you like to talk about?
Briefly, I wanted to mention a story that I heard about on Friday that seems like it would be kind of your beat. So, before I do that and I forget, Anne says to put the emotes on Twitch,
Oh,
please.
right. Yes, I know.
Yeah, obligatory
I
reminder.
have so much to catch up on, and on top of that, I was not feeling so great over the past few weeks. Oh, people have been asking me. I still got it, just not as like every week. It's a little bit less than the week prior.
Well,
It's
at least it's
obviously
getting
going
better.
away. Yeah, it's getting better. It's obviously. I mean, I sort of had that feeling that was gonna be what happened. I wasn't worried there was gonna be some. I didn't think it was gonna be something that I was gonna be, fucked with. But yeah, I mean, it's getting better. So we'll hopefully I'll be able to spend more time on the computer because I haven't been. Usually what I would do is I would do this show, and then I would be here afterwards doing like some the less fun stuff like messages and things like that, and still never catch up. But now I can't do that. I gotta step away, and then when I'm not doing the show, I'm doing my other job, so I'm spending time on the computer there. So I'm to wrap this part of the conversation up. Everything will be dealt with. I'm speaking with some people to bring some help on board, which should hopefully mean that the show will catch up on all messages and be able to grow because we'll be putting out more content and clips and stuff. So stay tuned to that. I'd really like to get this newsletter out because I feel like that's an audience I'm completely missing. It's become very clear to me as I'm doing this show that people who read my written stuff and follow me on Twitter and stuff, they're not the same audience who watches the streams or listens to the podcast. And the podcast audience is actually completely different from the streaming audience too. But I got the podcast, I got the streams. I got to do this final avenue people are looking for my work on. And then I think hopefully things will all come together.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, anyway, to the story. So Friday, all of my streams that I normally watch ended like super early. So I was looking around and I noticed Keffels was streaming live. And I never watched her. I never get to see her stuff live. So I watched that. And right as I tuned in, she covered a story about this tech wizard YouTuber from China named Naomi Wu, who she's a lesbian. Her partner's a Uyghur Muslim, and she's had some a while ago, I guess she was trying to get the word out about a flaw in the software from this company that like 80 to 90% of China uses. And I guess the Chinese government didn't like that, and she's gone silent for like the last couple of months, apparently. You know, it's kind of harrowing to listen to be honest with you. But you know,
I'm not familiar with this. I have to look into this.
Yeah, but the whole time one, I'm horrified, but two, I'm thinking like this is exactly the kind of thing Binder likes to cover because it's tech and it's the kind of stuff you cover on
What's the name of this individual again? Not Keffels, obviously.
Naomi Wu. You can check out. You can check out. Keffels does a brief video on her. I guess one of Naomi's friends contacted her to try and get her to talk about the story too.
Wait, I've heard of her. I'm familiar with her. Like I've never interacted with her, but I've seen Naomi Wu on on Twitter and just her content.
Yeah, I'd never actually heard of her before, which is kind of surprising because I guess she does like DIY tech stuff, and that's normally the kind of stuff that I like to watch on YouTube, aside from like all the political stuff. I'm surprised I never heard of this person, but in the Keffels video, it kind of mentioned that nobody's really talking about it, and that kind of makes her a little more disappearable. So, maybe get the word out or keep an eye on it for like updates and stuff. Like I said, it feels like the kind of thing that you'd be interested in. So I just wanted to be real quick and mention that. Also, before I go, thanks for the wrench. I love it. And happy 37th birthday. Don't you dare call that old because, I turned 37 like not even 2 months ago. So, go do something fun and
Oh, I'm gonna be doing something fun. I'm gonna be watching the Republican primary debate.
Well, that could be fun. You never know. They like to say all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, just everybody from our generation down looks super young. So don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, I won't. I won't.
A thumbs up stream.
Have a good night. Thank you so much for the kind words.
Yeah, you too, bud. Have a good one.
Bye. All right, let's go to, let's see. Oh, here we go. Next caller coming in right now. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, it's Hansy, man.
Hey, Hansy, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Let's I'm sure you got lots you want to talk about. I already know at least some topics of the conversation, but let's go.
Well, no, I was gonna say that I'm actually to follow up for that last week that I called you about. I was confused about the whole Ukraine funding and Hawaii and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because since the last time we spoke, it became a whole other thing online, basically. And I'm glad that there's people that were pushing back against it because now I feel a little bit more informed. Because even though if you want to talk about ethical shit like, isn't it ironic that we send this much money to war, but we can't have enough of that, right? If you want to be ironic about it, fine, that's cool. But if you're supposed to be part of the alt media, that's whole personality is like we're better than mainstream media, then like you better tell me that like why there's only $700 being put there when you're not disclosing the other stuff that's also being given as well. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, just the fact that people. So last week I was more worried about it because I didn't know all the narratives. But I guess there's more people pushing back, which I'm kind of glad about. I can say, I guess.
Oh, well, I'm glad we had that conversation.
Yeah, no, it just felt it felt like timely, whatever. You know what I mean? No, but I was gonna say that with the whole I'm actually gonna watch. I see again. I don't really watch Dynamite, but I think I might just watch the Republican debates because dude, this is like honestly, pro wrestling is being booked better in politics right now, bro, than it is like actually like in the actual program itself. You know what I mean? Like
Right. No, that's a great point. No, absolutely.
like everyone's like a gimmick, everyone's a character. I can tell everyone's elements of like what their backstory is and all that kind of stuff. It just feels like we've manifested like all of our entertainment that we've taken throughout the years, and now it's becoming like a daily thing where like, oh look, there's a murder mystery. Oh, there's twists and turns to the murder mystery now. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, what kind of world am I living in? You know what I mean? Like I never envisioned that this would be life. You know what I mean? I thought when I was a little kid and I was envisioning my life being a movie or a television show, I thought I was so fucking crazy. But now everyone is literally a character in a fucking bad movie or bad TV show.
No, right. No, absolutely. I guess that's a great way to put it, really.
It's just like, I'm waiting for the Matt Binder heel turn. You know what I mean? I don't want a Matt Binder heel. I don't want a Matt Binder heel turn, bro. You know what I mean? I don't think I can handle it. You know what I mean? Because then it's like.
Listen, I promise you that if there's a heel turn, it will be it'll at least be entertaining. It'll start with hey yo.
That's cool, dude. You're actually like one of the few accounts that I go to the timeline on Twitter because at least like you're catching me up with like some of the latest villains and some of the latest villainous things that they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So like, for example, what did you post about? Like somebody stole your like video or something like that for like some right-wing purpose?
So Ian Miles Chung, he
yeah, that idiot.
So I saw people comparing this DeSantis video where he's like doing this weird thing with his jaw, like he's on a stage somewhere, like at an event, at a campaign stop. Lighting is completely shining on him. He's like overly lit, but his skin is shining for the camera. He's looking at the let me pull up the video. Let's pull up this video. It's unbelievable, but people are pointing out how he looks. He's taking questions from a reporter, and he's doing this weird, angry like face that like he's upset that he's even got to listen to this reporter. And people pointed out that he's looking like Homelander from The Boys, the Amazon Prime show, where like superheroes are real, but they're assholes, and in Homelander's case, just a complete fascist. But yeah, I put that. So I found video of Homelander looking like DeSantis, and I put it side by side, or I should say, I found the video of Homelander in which DeSantis looks like him. And here you go. You guys tell me. I mean, come on. it's play a loop one more time. So it's crazy. He looks insane. But so, I made that edit, and listen, if it was like the old Twitter and someone was just stealing it for like bullshit clout or whatever, I'd still be bothered by it, but I probably would have just let it slide because it's not worth it. People do that stuff online. It sucks, but it happens. But I know that now that Musk pays on Twitter, certain, Twitter blue checkmark subscribers have completely, reconfigured how they post on Twitter in order to game getting paid. And so they're just constantly putting out content that they just see other people post because, there's a limit to a single individual's amount of output, let alone creativity. Like, you just can't. But, if you're just lifting shit you see online, You could do that all day, right? So, I know Ian Miles Chung is one of these right-wing guys who've altered how they post on Twitter because they know they get paid thousands of dollars from Musk every month to just generate views. And so I saw him lift the video. Now, he came out and said that he saw the video lifted from somebody else. He sent me the link of this person, and lo and behold, it existed. Now, I totally get that happens. I have seen, clips and content that, was lifted from the original creator, and I didn't see it from the original creator first. That happens. But the dude, when I confronted him about it, I said, "You're reposting my stuff without giving me any credit." And I should say, he didn't repost it. Like, he didn't retweet it. I don't care if he retweets it. He didn't quote tweet it. I don't care if he quotes it. He didn't even do that thing where, like, you copy just the video link so that when you add it to Twitter, it says underneath the video, like, from Matt Binder or from the... No, he just completely downloaded the video off of Twitter and re-uploaded it as his own. And that's why I had a problem with it. I confronted him about it. And instead of just saying, "Oh, hey, man, I didn't know this was yours. I saw it from this user and show me the link." And I just would have been like, "Okay, I understand. I get it. But, now give me the credit or something in a follow-up tweet or whatever." Instead, though, he accused me of stealing it from the guy he saw it from. And then I said, "Find me the link that you saw it from." And so he found the tweet. And the tweet he found it from was posted 22 hours after I posted it.
No, you see, like that's why, like, that's probably, dude, because like my whole time, I think I follow way too many people. 'Cause I didn't want to be in a bubble. So now there's only I think you, the Surfs, maybe Post Left Watch or some wrestling accounts. I basically go on and go, okay, what are they tweeting? So I get kind of caught up with some of like some of the, at least like maybe the more correct narratives, other than like, if you look at trending topics and stuff like that, you just see a bunch of like Elon Musk's favorite people being the top of the fucking food chain, where like all you're seeing is like, I see Katrina trending, right? And then it's like everyone on the on the alt media thing posting that this is like, would you listen? I don't know what's been compared to what, but would you say that this is comparable to what George Bush did on fucking Katrina? What would buy, like, you know what I mean? Because that's like a talking point that I keep seeing being put out there.
No, I mean, I don't know the details yet. I think we don't know enough quite yet. Clearly there was some institutional failures here. Would I say it's like Katrina? I mean, I don't believe it's, I mean, there might be some similarities, but I wouldn't say it's anywhere close.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like, to call, like, because everything nowadays gets compared to something, and and because, like, I used to have a more reactionary opinion, I would kind of be like, oh yeah, I guess I go, oh, corruption and incompetence, so I guess that is kind of comparable.
I mean, as of right now, the death toll in Maui is 114 people. Obviously, 115 now I see. Obviously, I don't go just by numbers. Even a single death, obviously, is a tragedy. But 114 people have died. 115 people have died so far in Maui. In Hurricane Katrina, there were almost 2,000 fatalities. I mean, it's not the same, if you ask me, in terms of also. We knew the hurricane was coming. I don't think this fire was foreseeable. In terms of, like, I know people are going to say climate change. I don't mean like that. I mean, weather forecasters can forecast the hurricane. We knew its trajectory well before it hit. We knew the issues. We knew the concerns. We knew what we had to prepare for. Whereas the Maui fire was just like, it just happened, right? There wasn't like the wildfires break out. There was no like. It's
Some
not
people
like.
said they didn't even. Some people were saying, I don't know. I think when things are now put it online as viral videos, I'm unsure. But some people were like, I saw that one narrative that they weren't even given a warning of when the fires were even starting. Like there was like communication error or something like that. So that's why I was like kind of asking because I didn't because nowadays when you gauge stuff online, bro, like it used to be easier in 2010s because I go, okay, well, mainstream media bad. That must mean everything on the internet must be 100% true. And like, so now with everyone on the line, like the blue check marks and all these people being compromised. It's
Right.
for a dumb down.
I mean, let's put it this way. Like, obviously, if people die during an event like this, and there are issues in terms of people saying they didn't know what to do, there was no warnings when it was going on, and then when there was some sort of point where people realized that things needed to be done to escape the fire and that areas had to be evacuated. The fact that there was any sort of miscommunication means that things could have gone better, and the system should be relooked at. There should be an overhaul in areas where there was failures or what have you. Obviously, all of these things could be improved, but I don't think it is any way comparable to, something like Hurricane Katrina, for example. And I think it's also sort of not helpful to compare these things either because they're sort of just two very different things. I mean, I think people who are looking to do that are just looking to blame somebody. I mean, yeah, I don't know what should be done. That's not my area of expertise, obviously.
No, I get
But
you.
but clearly these things could always be run better. Someone in the comments here, hold on, this was an interesting. Nisa Howard says, Bo of the Fifth Column talked about Maui and the possible reason why they didn't do the sirens, because people associate that with tidal waves, and they maybe would have headed up higher towards the fire. I mean, I that sounds plausible. That could be one reason.
That's a good. Okay, I
Yeah.
See, when I don't know this kind of stuff, and then somebody brings up, then you're like, okay, see, because now I look at information like people who who write like not like you could rightfully call out like different narratives from mainstream media, but then when you're also withholding information and you're like done like when you see a bunch of people that are supposed to be better than mainstream media like misleading you by going, oh look, they only got 700 and you're not like telling me that's like critical needs and all that kind of stuff, then it's like
Well,
then how are you
it's $700 per person. I mean, per household, I think. And I think the reason it's that number specifically is because that's what the federal government by law is able to do. Honestly, I was unaware that, I mean, I have not thankfully had to live through one of these these sort of natural disasters or tragedies. But I wasn't even aware that there would be any. Usually you hear that people have to apply through to like government, natural disaster funds where they have to wait for the money, or, they're dependent on their own personal insurance companies. I was unaware that the government even stepped in and gave any money outright like that. But I'm sure there will be additional help for people who need it in terms of grant programs, funding directly through, disaster relief funds that the government has. This is just like the outright amount they're able to give away to everyone involved.
Yeah, okay, no, I get you, bro. And one more thing before I go, I just don't want to take too much of your time, but thanks for going to me early, man. Because sometimes, sometimes I have to wait there for a while, and I understand you got more calls and all that, but I was like, I always have to struggle. So thanks for letting me come through, whatever.
No, I enjoy your calls. I think your questions are the questions a lot of people have, so I wouldn't ever feel like that. I know you say it every time, and I tell you the same thing every time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna continue telling you though too. I think you bring good questions, man, and I enjoy having you call in.
That's cool. And I know you said earlier you have been watching wrestling too much. Do you think like do you think in an overall sense that maybe you're like I know you probably got other stuff going on, but do you think in an overall sense that like they're just way too much to keep up with at this point? Because like you seem like a very like kind of like a smart mark type of fan where like you're like familiar with all the discourse and all that kind of stuff around it, but like you sometimes don't watch it as much, whatever. But like, do you think because like what like the prices are too fucking high, or do you like just like
a major part is I don't have cable anymore. Another part, I haven't had cable for a few years now, actually. But another thing is I've been looking into. I know Sling has a plan that includes all the stations to watch all the WWE and AEW shows. So I was looking into that because it's only like $40 or something a month. Because I'm not paying for. I used to do YouTube TV for a year when it was like $60. Now it's like almost like $100. It's not like it's like the whole point of not getting cable is to not pay cable prices. But now I'm just
is it $100 a month or $100 a year?
No, $100 a month. If it was a year,
Wow.
I'd already be signed up. It's a lot of money. It's like it's $73 a month, which to me, it's like I don't know. I don't need all that. I literally just pay for it to watch wrestling. But also it is on too much. Like even when I was regularly watching Raw every week, I wouldn't catch SmackDown. SmackDown on Fridays is just like people do things on Fridays, you know? Also, AEW was good when it was just Wednesdays. Now it's Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. It's also getting to the point where it's too much.
I think it's overkill, and the whole thing is I don't want to again if you're a CM Punk fan, I don't want to generalize all CM Punk fans, but there's a portion of them online that I just can't stand with like how like defensive they get about him, but like I just think that like when you make another show for like another guy's ego kind of in a way, it's even though listen, I'll say this, Collision does feel like a better paced wrestling show where it's a little bit more serious and they do good character work and all that. Like here's an example. You know how I'm a huge stickler for people that bring up rules in wrestling. So when in a tag team match, both heels didn't want to go in the ring to face off with a good guy, and the referee started counting them down, and then they emphasized, oh, they're counting them down because you have like a 10-second count for someone to start before you get a DQ. So small shit like that is what I kind of appreciate, but it's like it's on like a night where like there's like going to be like 80 million competition going on, like between football, between UFC, WWE running on Saturdays and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it might not be top priority. And you know what I mean? It just becomes an endless discourse about, oh, can CM Punk draw ratings and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I just think ratings discourse is like, so passe at this point.
Right. No, I agree. It's I also ratings is like it's such an old way of looking at wrestling, like it's not that anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's that's just not what like people watch wrestling much differently than they did back then.
No, exactly, man. I get you. Hey, listen, I just wanted to just talk to you. Happy birthday, by the way. And
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What's it called? If you guys are you doing a live stream for the Republican debate tomorrow?
I probably will. That's the plan right now.
Okay, cool. Because again, there's very few people that I watch live stream.
I probably would not be doing it. I should say. Live during the debate, because I think there's going to be a bunch of people doing it who have much bigger audiences than me, so it doesn't make sense to go head to head with them. And so I'll probably do one after the debate as like a post debate show when most of those channels will probably be winding down and closing up.
No, that's actually a smart way of doing it. But yeah, no, because there's not many YouTubers I want to go and watch who do it, because I used to watch TYT when they do that type of stuff. Now I don't really gel with their vibe anymore, whatever. So if you're doing it, what's it called then? I mean that'd be cool, because I like your analysis a lot. Better than a lot of other people. So I'll tune in tomorrow. But happy birthday, by the way, and thanks for taking my call, man. You're always a good dude to talk to.
Oh, I appreciate it. Always a pleasure for you to talk with you, Hansi. And I enjoy the questions. I enjoy the wrestling chat. It's all great. Call anytime, and hopefully you'll watch tomorrow. All right, folks. We've got another call coming in right now. Perfect timing. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey Matt, this is Nigeria.
I'm sorry. You broke up for a second. Who's this?
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly now. Much better. Much different.
Okay. Yeah, hi. This is a Sigil from Nigeria.
Hey, Sigil. Long time no talk. How have you been?
I've been okay. As okay as you can be,
All right. Everything going
Um,
good? Everything going, okay, I guess. As long as everything's going okay.
it's going, I mean, well, I've had like malaria like 3 times in the past few months, and it's
Well,
just like
that's not
destroyed my
good.
brain.
Are you
So,
okay?
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
okay now, but yeah.
As good as you
Yeah,
can
I
be,
don't
I
really.
guess. With as good as you can be, as okay as I can be with malaria.
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
Well, you're
Like
here.
truly, it just like destroys all your cognitive ability. I
I,
don't know. Anyway, um,
you're here. You're talking
I
with
don't.
me. So so that's a plus. So what's up? What's up? What do you
Yeah.
want to talk about?
Um, well, I don't really have much to talk about. I just wanted to, because I just wanted to raise awareness for my friend who has endometriosis. They're a trans mask person, and they need money for an emergency surgery. Their name is Max, and yeah, they need to get an emergency hysterectomy, and they've been in a lot of pain, and they just cannot afford the surgery. So I will send. Can I put a link to their GoFundMe in the chat, or where can I post
Oh
it?
yeah, please. I don't think you can drop one in the chat because YouTube doesn't allow people to post links. But if you drop me the link in the Skype chat, I
Okay.
have the ability to post it in the comments.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, that's really all I had to say.
No, no,
I
no
just
problem at
needed,
all.
yeah, because they're really struggling right now, and if everyone listening to this right now gives even like $2 or $5, or yeah, whatever currency, it'll really help a lot. So
I appreciate you calling in to share that. And I hope you feel better, Sigil. Always love when you call in and share. Usually it's the crypto NFT stuff, but
yeah,
that whole world hasn't been
yeah,
doing too good. So I'm sure.
yeah.
Have
Did
you
something
seen?
happen? Something
Yeah,
happened with
yeah,
those
something
guys.
happened. Did has it affected how? Because I remember you told me how it was like the whole scene in Nigeria was bustling. Has it affected things there? Has crypto even taken a hit there?
I mean, weirdly, there's like still just going like nothing happened. Like you'll still regularly see like ads and like billboards for crypto stuff, and yeah, it's very strange. People are still like talking about their NFT projects. Like, where? How? Anyway,
Right,
it's extremely strange how no one, like everyone just acts like there's nothing going on in that space.
right. Did
Yeah. Even the
did
group even the group chat that like I'm in an artist group chat, and like people who were like really shilling crypto have stopped talking about crypto but never acknowledged that I was correct. So,
right,
yeah,
of
anyway.
course. Did it at least stop like the spread to like I'm guessing like the mainstream audience in Nigeria isn't really talking crypto anymore. Like they're out of it. It's just basically the crypto diehards.
Um I'm not sure actually. I think,
Oh,
well, I don't
oh.
think like, well, we have
What?
we have a rich tradition of scamming in this country. So it's
Right.
it's
That's
kind
that's
of,
true.
it's kind of our thing. So, whatever reparations we can get, we'll scam anybody. Um,
It's part of our. I like that. It's part of our culture. If you
exactly.
when Sam Bankman-Fried took the fall and FTX fell, the people over there were talking about like, look what they're trying to take from us. This is our culture.
It's cultural appropriation. What next? Email phishing scams.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my God.
So yeah, people pretty much just act like people have like a lot of crypto stuff still going on, which is very strange. Like, yeah, very strange.
Yeah. The
uh,
I just
what were you
covered this new crypto project that's sort of like the I guess you can call it the what a lot of them are viewing as like the savior of crypto right now. At least, it's gone so viral. It's called Friends Tech or Friend Tech, I think it's called. I can't remember. I did a whole piece on it and I can't remember if it's Friends Tech or Friend Tech. But it's this app where basically you buy shares in a user in order to get access to their private chat. And if you want to sell your shares, you can, and you give other users access to the private chat and you leave the private chat. It's basically like simplifying, letting everyone create their own shitcoin. It's ridiculous. And it's run by people who've already had a history of running a pump and dump NFT project. So it's already off to a great start. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Oh my God. What's annoying to me about crypto is like the most annoying thing is like they feel the need to financialize literally everything. Like literally
I mean,
just
that's it.
having
That's
a
the whole
chat.
point. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing that really bothers me about the whole scene. Like, listen, when I say like I want someone to like everyone should do work that like creates something. I don't mean like everyone's got to like come up with some device that's going to save the world or some like life-changing thing that's going to solve climate change. No, I mean just provide people with a service. People who sit at a computer all day, they need a comfortable chair. Make comfortable chairs. People who work at a restaurant, they need whatever technology to make working at a restaurant easier and more efficient for them. Make that. That's what I mean when like create something of value, a product or service that people use, and when they spend their money on it, they get something worth that money in return. But with crypto, the whole thing is just the promise of you make money. Okay, what product or service do you put out there into the world? Nothing. Nothing. You're just exchanging
Absolutely not.
money with each other by speculation. Like that's all it is. There's nothing good being created for anybody.
Have you considered though that they really need those 8 pictures? Have you considered
Mm.
that maybe they really need
But the
all
thing
those
is,
terrible
they
drawings from
could
Gary Vee?
they could have those terrible drawings. That's not the like the NFTs aren't even the drawings. They just can't have the receipt telling them that they originally purchased those drawings. It's so
Exactly.
fucking
Like the whole thing
dumb.
is so like I said this like in my first call. Like like there was already an economy that you could like an online economy of digital art that you could like buy and sell on DeviantArt, but like these people don't actually give
Uh-oh, Sigil, we lost you.
a fuck about want to like
Oh,
financialize everything.
you
Like
cut
if
out
they
for a
actually
second.
cared, they just like buy their furry art from DeviantArt.
You cut out
What?
for a second. I'm
Sorry?
sorry. You cut out for a second. Just repeat what you said since you started talking. It was you cut out for like a little
Oh
bit, and
yeah.
so I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying like these people don't actually like there was already a market for selling digital art online and it was on DeviantArt and you could like they literally had their own like in website currency that you could like trade like it wasn't perfect either, but it was still like it wasn't using crypto and the crypto people basically just like reskinned that with like this hyper financialized like tech bro language. And like if these people actually gave a fuck about supporting the artists that they like they claim to, they would have just like bought their furry art from DeviantArt where it originated. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could buy prints if you like people's art. You could even contact them and get them to make you custom work. I mean, there's so many ways to support an artist, but
Exactly. But like and notice how like
speculation
those same
is
people
not.
that were really like like touting how these things would like support artists are now jumping into AI art and calling themselves artists by like pirating commissions from AI generators. Like that's all AI is AI art is just like pirating uh commissioned art from like not a person. Like you know what I mean? It's like calling yourself an artist but because you told an artist what to draw, basically.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure a lot of these people, I'm sure, have pivoted already to AI art quote unquote. So you already get their whole perception of what art is. And listen,
Yeah.
I've said I'm not against using the technology to enhance or do something to your own art or whatever. But the idea of like just inputting text in, a text prompt into an application and pressing enter and getting some, random images in return, that does not make you an artist. If you, use it to, do something weird with your art, that's different. But I don't consider
Exactly. It's
the,
like,
the text prompt stuff art. You're not an artist
yeah.
because you figured out how to put text into a machine.
Yeah, and I feel like people think it's like being an artist because they came up with a concept, but like if you really think about it, you're not an artist if you like go on Fiverr and like tell some like poor artist to make you something for $5 because you came up with a concept, right? Like you're still commissioning that artist, but
Oh,
like with
right.
AI
No,
art, you're just
absolutely right.
pirating that commission.
Right, right. I mean, the least you
Yeah,
could do is like, if you're actually an artist, you could collaborate with other people, but you need to have some sort of skin in the game when it comes to actually creating the art. You can't just like, tell someone this is what I want. I mean, I guess with like filmmaking, it's a bit different because your direction actually creates the art, but that's not the same with drawing. I mean,
exactly.
I guess
That's like
become a
so collaborative in general, right?
right. I guess become a if you're an AI artist who wants to become an actual artist, I guess look into directing animation. But even that is not the equivalent because even the director is, creating the story. Like they're having a role in the storytelling. They're
Yeah,
not
it's
just
like
like they're
their
not just
input
like
is like what makes it what it is.
right. They're not just like mouse wearing funny hat and then they get what they get. And a lot of the AI artists, they don't even like have any sort of original because again, they like so much of the AI art I see always includes in the style of, and it's just telling the AI art generator to steal, just like cop another actual artist's style. Like it's never
Yeah.
like because I mean that's what it's all based on. It's all based on other actual real artists' artwork.
It's really annoying. An AI artist followed me on Instagram the other day, and I was like, "What about me gives you the impression that that I?" Anyway, it was weird, very strange. Like I said, there's still a lot of like tech bro, like crypto AI stuff going on, like unironically. Like people just have no sense of shame when it comes to that kind of stuff here. Like
Yeah.
anything that makes you money, yeah,
I,
considered
I,
kosher.
I imagine. I mean, it's the same thing here. There's no different. The whole hustle culture is so disgusting. And the funny part is, like, I'm actually really interested in a lot of like the like online apps and software that I see come out. Like, I've seen some interesting stuff. I'm not saying like AI or crypto related. I'm just saying in general. Like, I see interesting stuff. But then you look into the founder, and they're all like hustle culture and like try you work your 9 to 5, I'm working my 9 to 9 or whatever. It's like, dude, just fucking like, why are you all so like insufferable? What is it about like being able to like create some like code some like online app that turns all these founders into like insufferable human beings? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
I
very,
don't get it.
very, very strange. And it's like I understand, like you said, I think there's utility in AI. I think like it could be cool if we didn't live under the hellscape that is capitalism. Like I was watching Deep Space Nine the other day. Like I have the DVD box set of a few seasons, and there was like this episode where Captain Cisco has this dream, and he sees this woman in his dream, and then like uses a computer to generate the face of that woman he saw in his dream. And I was like, that could actually be like if we lived in a world where it wasn't highly unethical to just like steal from people because that's their livelihood, that could actually be a cool use case. But like the commons like that can't really exist under capitalism because then it's just going to be used like escalate. Yeah.
Right, right. You broke up a little bit again. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Hello, you there?
Yeah.
Uh oh.
Sorry. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I hear. You broke up. Yeah.
Oh man.
Just a little
Okay.
bit. Just broke up a
Did
little
you
bit.
what?
That very end
Okay.
part. Oh, are you breaking up again? Hello? I'm getting the Skype beep where you're having a bad connection. Sigil, this is a great conversation. Send me that link, and I will post it in the
Yeah.
comment. Hello? Oh,
Okay, I can hear you now.
okay, cool.
God
You
damn it.
broke. You broke up.
I
You
think
broke
that
up
there's just
for
like a huge delay.
you broke up for a really extended period. I don't know if
Okay.
you want to say what you said at the end there again, but feel free to if you want.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
Oh God, I don't even remember.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just talking about Deep Space Nine, and I saw like there's there was an episode where I was just saying like AI really can't exist like it does right now under capitalism without being exploitative of artists. And I was like talking about this episode of Deep Space Nine I saw where Captain Sisko sees a woman in his dream and like generates a picture of her face using a computer. And I was like, that could actually be a cool use case if it wasn't like just going to be used by like exploitative like capitalists. But yeah, that was my whole thing.
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It, it's. I guess it's just inherently part of that whole industry. I mean, it's unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. But that's just the attitude and ethos of so many people who are basically in that world, and it's amazing to see because, for the most part, a lot of the I guess the quote unquote rank and file in the industry actually do lean to be more progressive. It's just these like obviously the
Yeah, you
VCs,
just
but also all these like indie hackers and VC and not VCs and like founders and all these guys. It's funny because like DIY culture in every other industry is like seen as like pro worker, do it yourself, all about the little man or whatever. But like DIY in tech is like you turn into a huge asshole that just talks about like
yeah.
hustling all the time.
Then it's just about rugged individualism, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's like yeah, it's just about like the isolation that comes with that kind of thing. Because like if that's how you work, you're not really in a space with other people, you're not really communicating with other people, you don't really get other people's perspectives on how, you know, what you're doing could affect them. I guess that's yeah,
All right.
how it is.
Well, Sigil, always a pleasure when you call in. Don't forget to send me that link if you didn't already.
Yeah, I'll send
Um,
it to you ASAP.
and don't be such a stranger. I hope you feel better. Call in anytime.
Yeah.
Always enjoy chatting.
All right. Nice to talk to you too, man.
Okay,
Later.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go. Oh, got more calls coming in. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Well, can't hear you, Ren. I think you had a problem last time with your call. I will give you a chance to call in. Also give chance for other people who tried to call in to call in. I will read a super chat or two. Um, got someone calling in right now. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey,
Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
is this me?
This is you. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Val from North Dakota.
Hey, Val. What's up? What would you like to talk about?
I just want to talk about like a little follow up on your like Doug Lane thing.
The what? I'm sorry?
Your Doug Lane debate thing?
Oh, sure, the Doug Lane debate. Oh, cool. Oh, really quick before we get into that, I just saw that Dylan Burns just rated me on Twitch a little bit ago. Thank you so much, Dylan. I really appreciate the raid. All of Dylan Burns' followers, welcome to the show. I am now taking calls from listeners, and I'm talking with Val right now, and we're about to get into a conversation about my I guess debate with Doug Lane. What would you have to talk about? What would you have to say about it?
I just wanted to say, like, I think I know why he was, like, kind of going for, like, the Twitter and Elon side of the debate. Because
Go ahead.
I've seen, like, some of the people that are, like, backing his friend, Ashley Frowley. Like, she did an interview with, what's his name, that groomer guy?
I saw
James
that.
Lindsay.
Someone sent that to me. I don't know if maybe that was you. I don't know, but someone sent me that link. Like they DM'd me or they replied to me on Twitter or they reached out to me somehow. I just totally, forgot about it until you mentioned this just now. I guess they came across my debate with Doug Lane and they were aware of what they were doing. Yeah. Doug Lane's like partner or co-host in his whole Sublation media thing did an interview, a friendly interview with James Lindsay, the creator of the OK Groomer thing, the guy who is like the guy who hates me because I pointed out how he literally has hung out multiple times with one of the top commandants, the top leaders in command of the Nexium sex trafficking group. But that aside, what were you want to say? Yeah, please tell me more.
Okay, I saw she works for this guy named Frank Ferretti. Have you ever heard of him?
Name might sound familiar. Frank Ferretti. Do you know? Can you spell that last name for me?
Furedi.
Frank Ferretti. Hungarian academic.
He's the founder of. Well, I don't know if he created Spiked Online, that magazine.
Oh my God! That? Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you know what it was before? Like, what was it called? Living Marxism before.
I didn't. Oh, I didn't know that. I was from. It's been Spiked Online for a long time because I remember back
because he got sued. He had to change the name of it.
Really? Why did he get sued?
Oh God, I don't remember why, but it should be on his. I think it's on his Wikipedia because he got sued. He had to change the name in like 2000 to Spiked Online.
Because I remember Spiked Online in like 2013 or 2014. Basically, it always comes back to this, but I was covering Gamergate, and I remember at the time that
were they like pro Gamergate?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the whole thing around Spiked was that obviously all these outlets that were familiar with Gamergate were covering it very critically because obviously it was a right-wing reactionary movement of people just looking to, harass really this one individual woman, and then it turned into a broader look at women in gaming in general. But they were upset. They were upset that, for people who don't know, Gamergate started as an attack on one singular individual woman developer, and it was sparked by her ex-boyfriend. For anyone who wants to know, just how legit that whole thing was, it was started by a woman's ex-boyfriend to attack her, and that's basically the beginning of Gamergate. Spiked basically was the first sort of established outlet, even though they're just like an online, news website, quote unquote news website, like a media outlet. But they were the first outlet to give the pro Gamergate people like a voice. Like they let them write columns in their outlet, and they became like the de facto main like pro Gamergate outlet.
Oh, that's crazy! I didn't even know that. I just saw that they were linked to like this living Marxism thing, and I think this Ferretti guy is like, he's like one of the, he's like a, like I left the left kind of guys, you know, like
Right.
way back, from way back. Looks like he left it in like the 70s or something, it says. But I saw that Ashley Frawley works for him.
Isn't that the whole shtick from like Jimmy Dore too, a lefty from way back or something like that? Isn't that like one of those guys' shticks? They're a lefty from way back, as if like
Yeah, I've heard that
as if
phrase.
like being a lefty like 40 years ago but no longer today gives them some sort of special lefty cred.
It gives them like, you know how crazy the leftists are being now. This is why I'm gone.
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
Or no, it's like that. It's like that Bill Maher thing. Like, I've stayed left and they've moved further left or something like that.
Right. Yeah. They're with a true, no true leftist and stuff. But what were you gonna say about Doug Lane's partner? What's her name again?
Ashley Frawley. She's working for him. She's working for
Ashley. How do you spell her last name?
Frawley, I think. She's working for him. She works for Spike, and she's working for him for his college that he's working at right now, called MCC Brussels.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't see how you have a friendly conversation with James Lindsay and consider yourself.
But I mean, that's like, there's like, I feel like there's a whole like industry on that of like people who say they're on the left that are going and being like, they don't like identity politics.
Yeah, but they're like it's funny because like there was like Glenn Greenwald doesn't really count because he never really considered himself a leftist. We just sort of put up with his libertarian tendencies because he had good scoops and we agreed with him on the surveillance state and things like that. But like, how many actually have any credibility? You know what I mean? Like,
I get that because
it's like who's Ashley? Like, who the fuck is Ashley Frawley?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
like I listen. Who the fuck am I really? I'm not saying I'm a somebody, but I wouldn't consider if I left the left, I wouldn't consider it a big deal either.
that's why I was like thinking like, should I even talk about this because they're not even like.
Well, I mean, I covered this stuff, so you found the person to talk, the correct person to talk to with.
Because they're not even like their channels aren't even that big or anything, and it's like, how big of a like? I'm pretty sure like a lot of people know like Spiked is like a, like I didn't know they covered Gamergate like that though.
Oh yeah, and she writes for Unheard. Isn't that like a right wing British website too?
I've seen somebody say that's
it was
Ferretti's son that runs it. But I don't know how to verify.
It was started by Tim Montgomery, a conservative British political activist.
That Frank just did a speech at some conservative like gathering. He just did a speech in like May.
Right. I mean, no, that's not surprising. But this is, I guess, Doug's. He'll I'm sure he'll claim that doesn't mean anything, but it obviously means the world because it's clearly.
But like these people are going on like, I've seen them on some other people's shows, and I'm just like, does like nobody look into like who their guests are anymore, or it just seems weird to me.
No, they definitely knew who James Lindsay was. James Lindsay's not a nobody.
No, I mean not James Lindsay. I'm talking about Doug and. Ashley, because they've been going. I've seen them go around on like leftist shows and stuff.
Well, Doug used to run Zero Books. He was the head editor or publisher. Like he was the guy who would make the book deals and make them happen. And that's a very leftist publishing outlet, book publisher.
I just read some article today because I was kind of trying to look more into this. And I just read another. I just googled Ashley Frawley and Frank Ferretti, and I saw some article that was talking about how Zero Books was publishing some. I think they published some right wing people too.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like towards are in the middle of like Doug's tenure.
Really?
I think they
uh,
published Frank
did
himself. I
they?
think. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look that up. That would be news to me. Um, listen, like, am I saying that like these guys don't deserve? Well, yes, I am saying that they don't deserve to be published. But I mean, to take my own personal opinion out of it, should there be outlets that exist for these people? Sure, I guess if there's market for it. But I mean, why would you be the guy if you're a leftist? Why would you be the one to publish them? It makes no sense.
I've seen this other guy on Twitter named Mickey Mousenhauser.
Mickey Mousenhauser?
And let me see how his
Wow,
his
you're right.
cat-
You're right. Frank Ferretti did publish. I don't know how. Maybe they were back in the day. Let's see when they published.
I think it was during Doug's tenure. Okay, there's somebody that has like a lot more. I've been reading his thread. This guy. It's NI.
Want to send it? Want to send me a link in the Skype chat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he released a book in 2020 by Frank Ferretti for $0.
Oh, hold on. How do I?
Just if you're on a computer, just hit the little chat button at the bottom of the.
Yeah. Did you get it?
Yep, and this is on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it's on Twitter. This guy has like a lot of. I think they're like a.
Is there a specific thread, or it's just I'll see it when I just go to the page?
Yeah, I think he just retweeted it like 19 hours ago. It says. He has like this follow the thread seems to be the operational strategy of all the Frank Ferretti RCP LM spiked fronts.
Oh, okay. Let me see this.
I think this guy thinks he's well he could be directly under Orban in Hungary, I think.
Really interesting.
That's where he thinks he's getting the money from.
The sublation is fairly small from my understanding. I don't know. I mean, I was actually unfamiliar with it being more than just like his podcast. I mean, their website. I just went to their website. Their website's pretty nice, actually. they did well in the web design department. They hired the right web designer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to look more into this, I guess. But yeah, it's super interesting to see how this all played out. I'm not that familiar with Doug, other than knowing that he ran Zero Books. He was the guy who ostensibly, I guess, gave Michael Brooks his book deal with Zero Books for, Michael Brooks's, one book that he was able to publish before he passed, sadly. But I mean, beyond that, I just, understood him. Oh, he's this old school leftist. But I don't know. I don't know what his deal is now. But I did see someone did send me that his co-host was hosting James Lindsay, and that said,
yeah, that's crazy.
That said, crazy. I mean, listen, would I talk to James Lindsay? Of course, but it wouldn't be a conversation like that.
Yeah, would you be agreeing like the woke is the problem?
Right. Yeah, it would have been an absolute. I'm sure it would have been spread far and wide because it would have been one hell of an entertaining show. I can guarantee you that. But yeah, I mean, it's also funny that because James Lindsay was begging Elon Musk not to bring me back when I was suspended for that period of time. Really? So it is funny to see. It is funny to see that this is one of their free speech icons, I guess, James Lindsay.
All right, I just wanted to pop up and say that, I guess.
No, I'm glad you called in. This was fun to talk about. I mean, I was not, I guess, surprised to I mean, I guess I was surprised that it was specifically James Lindsay, but I mean, I'm not surprised that after that conversation with Doug to find out that he was going down that route.
Oh,
And
I
again,
think
this is not like he's on some like big sprawling podcast network and like he works with someone who has these feelings. No, like he runs Sublation Media, and that's literally like the co-host of his show. Like it's like that'd be like if I was like, listen, everyone, you can't listen, you can't judge me just because I do a show with Candace Owens. It's not my, it's not.
I have like a little like not disagreement, but like when you were saying that, like I was remembering back to that debate with Doug, and you were the one that told him that the tweets that he was like mad about were Hunter Biden's nudes, and he didn't know that. That kind of shocked me. So I'm like, maybe Doug doesn't know because he just like, what? You're going into this debate not knowing what those tweets were even?
It's like I mean, how can you even be an advocate for the Twitter files without knowing the contents of the very first thing that were brought up in the very first Twitter file? It's like if you can't pay attention to that, what else what have you been like? How did you like what? Like how did you even consume this thing? Like how can you? I don't understand. Like it was baffling to me. I mean, it really was surprising.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like maybe he's just like maybe he's bumbling. He doesn't even know like he's getting like Viktor Orban money.
Like I'm honestly trying to like I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think of an analogy here, and I was gonna say like I don't know. It's like you saying I don't even know. I can't even think of an analogy. I was gonna say it's like you saying like Citizen Kane is your favorite movie, and then someone's like Rosebud, right? And you're like, what are you talking about? What? But that's not even analogous because you would have to at least have watched the entirety of the movie to get to that point. This is the opposite. You just had to. It's like saying this book is your favorite book, but you never read the first page. It doesn't make any sense.
I think Doug's off Twitter now too. I think he got banned.
He got banned. I did see that. And, I don't think he should be banned from Twitter. I don't know what he posted that even got him banned. But knowing what he usually posted, I can't imagine he posted anything.
I think it was like a joke about, like, killing somebody or something like that. But it was like a joke tweet he did.
Listen, it's very clear that to me that even joking wise, you can't. I'm not saying it's not okay, but like it's the dumbest and most obvious way you're gonna get suspended. To even like, so just
I think he was trying to do that.
Yeah, just don't even go there. But that is like amazing though that he was suspended from Musk's Twitter after like being so steadfast, such a staunch defender of the Twitter files. And I say this again as someone who doesn't think he should be suspended, but it's just quite ironic.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, thanks for calling. This was fun. I appreciate it, Val. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
A lefty from way back. I'm yawning. Because I'm getting tired. Didn't I say Rosebud? I said Rosebud. Did I not say Rosebud? Because I'm pretty sure I said Rosebud. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Now?
Oh, you're breaking up though. Where are you? Are you calling from like?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you
Oh,
now.
okay, awesome. I'll turn off my air conditioner in case that was making it worse. This is Ren calling from Oregon. Happy birthday, Matt. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. We got hit by kind of the aftermath of Hillary after it got broken up, you know, in California and over Reno. So we got like an unseasonable amount of rain in the desert, and then probably about 6 hours after the rain stopped, now we're just drowning in wildfire smoke again. So it's been weeks had some ups and downs, but it's been all right.
Well, I'm glad you're doing good.
Yeah.
You got a little taste of what Bernie had to deal with, the aftermath of Hillary when she was doing
Oh
the
my
the press
God.
the press tour blaming him.
Did you see that tweet someone made where they were like, if Hillary moves right, she can take Arizona and still have a path to
I
Nevada.
did see that. I did see that. It was
That
very
was-
good. Yeah.
oh my God.
Impossible to not make the jokes, but
Yeah.
glad you're doing good. Glad it didn't hit you guys hard. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, have you heard about the situation with Linus Tech Tips and just kind of the drama surrounding that with one of their former like social media coordinators?
I did hear. I know they were previously called out about um, their ethics in a lapse of ethics in their tech reviews, and they were dealing with the fallout from that. And then a social media person, like you said, came out and said that they were sexually harassed while working there, and no one took their concern seriously about it. Has there been more?
There's not really more, but as someone who's been kind of watching them since like 2014, 2015, I don't know. It's interesting seeing stuff like when Lewis goes on Majority Report or stuff where like kind of worlds collide with like Brianna Wu and like other people. It's really interesting. There's much more of like kind of an enmeshed community now, but no, I've kind of gotten the vibe that they were like pretty anti-union before. I didn't know that their working conditions were that bad, but he's like gone on multiple times on his live show to say like someone mentioned a union in like a live chat message or something, or it was brought up. And he said something like, I feel like if my employees are coming to me and there's such a lack of trust that they feel the need to unionize, I've really failed as a boss. And
I mean, this is part of the course, unfortunately, for the tech world. Like a lot of these guys,
oh yeah, totally.
even the ones who aren't like technically in the industry, like he's not in the industry. He makes videos about tech products. But I mean, even they have really old right wing, I guess you can call it, views about this stuff. It's amazing. They
Oh
just don't
yeah,
get it.
it's like it's it's like, the same type of person who's like, we've moved to all recyclable packaging for our merch store. Also, we like produce and ship millions of items like every X amount of time, and also our employees aren't unionized. It's like uh um
That whole
it's
thing too is like that whole thing about like, oh, is this you can't come to me is such a cop out too. It's not about that they can't come to you. It's about the fact
it's
that
that you're the owner of the company.
you can literally fire them anytime with no recourse for them. So at least with the union, there are measures that must be followed. And then if you do actually then decide to still follow them after all those steps were taken, there's usually some sort of benefit package that they're not walking away with nothing. There's like protections in place for
Yeah.
the worker.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the thing that was a red flag, once again, I
It's
had
never
no
it's
clue it
never
was
the
this
other way.
bad.
If any of these guys, I'm not gonna use his name because it's not just him, but if any of these guys were to fire an employee, can you imagine if the employee was like, whoa, wait. I thought we had a relationship. We're like, why didn't you come to me and tell me this first? I'm not leaving because we got to work this out. This is not how it's supposed to be. Like, no, they would be like, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. You're fired. Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
because
friendly
fundamentally
relationship.
that's the
Yeah.
relationship between
Right.
the owning class and the working class. But yeah, it's there was also a thing where he was talking about like he would like promote job application pools like on his show and different stuff. And he said multiple times, I really like people who are super passionate, who like eat, sleep, and breathe, this kind of stuff, and really care about putting the most of their job. And like that kind of shit is like also usually like a red flag when
Right.
someone's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
I want
There's
someone
there
who
there
wouldn't
there.
mind doing this all the time.
Yeah, if that was my feelings on a top, I mean, it is my feelings on certain things. And you know what I did? I went out and did my own show for it because that's the only thing I'm going to put that sort of output into. Because you're not going to pay me for that sort of, you're not going to pay me extra for feeling that way about your stuff.
Yeah, totally. It's just, and I think that Luke and like a handful of the people that work there, have a different mindset. But it's really interesting watching them talk because it is like it, it is like fundamentally this mindset of like, he talks about like we need to be constantly growing and doing all of this stuff, and if I'm not growing as much as possible, then like, like I'm not doing a good enough job like with this company or whatever. And his friend sitting across from him was just like, or we could just do the thing we do really well, or we could just try to do a good job at what we're already you know what
Right.
we're already stretched across. But
They put out a lot of content to the point where like, listen,
yeah.
it's not the sort of stuff I usually watch because I'm just not that into PCs, and that seems to be mostly what they focus on. But I've watched their stuff before. They put out good stuff, but like the amount of content they put out, in terms of, and like it seems like, I was the casual watcher, but it did seem like the content quality was not where it once was.
Well, like
There's a lot of
there
like
were a couple
filler
distinct
bullshit, and
eras, but
yeah,
yeah, around like I would say 2017 to 2019, there started to be a lot more kind of filler bullshit and like kind of clickbait stuff. And like I remember like it got better, but the clickbait still wasn't great with, the titles and thumbnails. And it was like, my wife can't believe I did this for like the title of a video or something. And I'm like, I have no fucking clue what this is. How the fuck am I supposed to know what this is?
I mean,
But I'm watching.
honestly, you can go a lot of places with the headline that my wife
Oh
can't
yeah.
believe I did this. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, and it would just be like insinuating that they were getting a divorce or something else, and it's like
it
it's
could
like a
insinuate
review
it
for
could
like an
insinuate a
HVAC
lot of
system.
things. Could
Yeah.
insinuate a whole range of things.
Oh yeah, totally. Um, yeah, no, but that's yeah, that just is what it is. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was this is like much more dark, but God, just like the situation in California with that lady who was an ally is just kind of tearing me up,
Oh yeah,
I just
it's for people who don't know, there was I want to get her name. Hold on one second. Her name
I
should be
forgot her
set
name
on.
too. I feel bad
It's
that I forgot it
no,
already.
it's okay. Let me pull this up because it's worth talking about, and I definitely want to say her name. So, 66-year-old Laura Ann Carlton was shot and killed in front of her San Bernardino store. Her store is located in Cedar Glen, California. Around 5 p.m. Friday. Because this guy, 27-year-old Travis Iguchi, apparently went over to the store where she was flying an LGBTQ pride flag outside her store, and he started saying bigoted things and harassing her, and I think he was
Started
trying to
tearing the sign down.
right, he tried to pull
and
the
then-
sign down and the flag down, and she confronted him and they got into a spat, and so he pulled out a gun and shot her. And then he had a shootout with the cops, which left him dead. He was killed in the shootout. But this individual, people looked into him, and he has a history of anti-LGBTQ, saying LGBTQ things online. He was a fan of people like Matt Walsh. Someone like Donald Trump was too far left to him. I saw posts where he was criticizing Donald Trump and saying this is why I could never be a fan of Donald Trump, because of the bullshit, like mealy mouth, like just thrown out, barely you could even call it support, just like Donald Trump faking it when he would like hold the LGBTQ flag and say like, barely supportive stuff about the LGBTQ community. Even that was too left wing, was too respectful of LGBTQ people for this guy to handle. And because this guy was brought up this way, felt these things, consumed this hateful content, this ally, apparently she's been a long-time ally to the local LGBTQ community. This 66-year-old woman, a mother of nine children, is now dead.
It's fucking awful. It's like it feels like someone is like lighting your house on fire, or like torching your property and lighting your house on fire, and then saying like, oh, it's an act of God, who knows what could have caused this, no one knows why your house doesn't exist anymore. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that you were striking matches and pouring gasoline. I don't know. I mean, right. I wasn't around for when Laramie, Wyoming happened in I think 1997. That was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I mean, maybe if I look it up, I will. Laramie, Wyoming.
There was a young gay man living in a very rural part of Wyoming called Laramie, and he frequented some of the bars there.
Oh, it's about Matthew Shepard. Okay, if you should say Matthew Shepard.
Matthew Shepard.
Right.
Yeah,
his name is now, I'm sure, unfortunately for him and his family, is now infamous because he is so connected to this well-known anti-gay hate crime.
Yeah. And these two guys got into an argument with him at the bar for either younger people or people who don't know about this. There were two people who got in an argument with him while he was drunk or whatever. He was trying to get, I think, a ride home from one. And two guys took him out, tied him to a fence, and beat him half to death, and then left him to die. And he died of his injuries, and I think hypothermia. It was horrific, just absolutely. It feels like we have something, I mean, not quite to that level of torturing someone, because we just live in a society where everyone shoots each other now, but it feels like we have an instance of like people being killed in hate crimes, or like just mass death hate crimes that occur multiple times a year at this point, and it feels like just nothing is done about it. And the people who like sow this type of violence will never face any consequences, and it's difficult, because like I'm 20. This stuff with like trans things and it being politicized, like I've been having to deal with my entire like adolescent and now young adult life, and just knowing how history tends to play out, and that all of these people doing this are going to like live comfortable lives and die likely very wealthy, is just, it just affects you, you know?
No, absolutely. It's uh it's hard to sometimes deal with exactly what's going on when you hear stories like this. But I tend to sort of think that most people look at what happened to this woman as abhorrent, and most people don't support what this guy did, even in terms of, like, obviously people don't support him murdering her, but I think most people don't support his actions prior to that either. So it's what's a little bit interesting and shocking to me is I'm surprised the story's not getting picked up even further than it already is. Like, it's really not gotten that much attention.
Well, it's because for the mainstream media, there's just I and I feel like they really should be talking about this more, because this is really something that would generate a lot of traffic for them, since that's what they care about. But it's just, there seems to not just be a focus on like making money by talking about like cases of regret and like uncertainty around healthcare for trans youth and different stuff, but I think there is genuinely an ideological bent at certain publications like the Times. And I can't comment as much on like cable news providers, but it seems like there are a lot of people who just genuinely are transphobic, like institutionally, with like what kinds of stories that they let be run.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's
Ren,
like I
no, continue.
sorry,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I thought you were finished. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to be too dramatic, but like I live in an area that is much, much, much more conservative than San Bernardino, California. Like a bit further north, but Oregon there's still a lot of conservative areas. And I'm like, I'm thinking about this from my perspective of, like being a young adult. I'm just like, crap, where is it that's safe to raise kids? Because, it just feels like as time goes on, there's just going to be more and more of this like stuff going up about this. I feel like getting out of West Virginia, I tried really hard to make sure that happened, and I ended up on the West Coast. But I'm like, gosh, it feels like nowhere is safe from this stuff. If this can happen in San Bernardino, like what if my kids have to deal with this stuff too?
Right. No, yeah, it's I hate to say that it's not really safe anywhere, in terms of like you can't escape it. There's going to be people like this all over the place. I do think that obviously it's not saying it's smooth sailing, but I do think it's easier for, I mean, this guy was fairly young, 27 years old doing this, but I mean, I do think for the most part, more younger people than older generations are much more accepting of others, no matter who they are and what makes them different. So that's one thing to sort of, and it continues to get like that. Obviously, every generation will be, even like my kids. They don't have any sort of, the 8 years old and 4 years old, and the 4-year-old's too young to really anything. But so let's focus on the 8-year-old. 8-year-old, he will ask me questions. He will find nothing wrong with whatever it is that makes that person, like, oh, he'll see someone like, oh, why is that person like that? Oh, that's just like a short person. They were born that way. Oh, okay. Just that wondering. Just no judgment. Just saw something different, wanted an explanation, got an explanation. That's just how some people are. Just like some people are different color skin. When I remember that conversation, oh, why is his skin darker than? Oh, okay, cool. There's no judgment whatsoever. And like that's like really, it really, like, you hear it and it is growing up, but when you have your own kids, it really hits you like just how like none of this is ingrained in them. None of this disdain, this bigotry, this hatred, this anything like that. None of it is there. And that's also, that's one angle I always look at it from. And then another thing, too, is like when it concerns, like, how do I explain this to my kids? I've already been explaining these things to my kids. It's the easiest thing in the world because there's no preconceived notion in their heads about these people who they perceive as different from them. So all I have to do is say, oh, that's just how some people are born. That's just how some people are. That's just how things are. They're human beings just like you. Your friends, your neighbors. No, okay. Simple as can be. The simplest conversation that can be had. It's like I don't get it. It's just you have to be someone who has a problem with those answers yourself for you to find this hard for your kids to tell your kids, because it's not hard. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Oh yeah. It's like, the generation before yours, well, actually not the generation before yours, with early Gen Xers and late boomers and stuff, there still was a lot of like pretty virulent homophobia. But even conservative millennials like don't think that the closet is a good thing and don't think that gay people should be like completely hidden from all parts of society. It's like, because they went to college with gay people, because they were around gay people when they were, like young adults and like coming into the world in a lot of ways, not just politically. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful for the next generation, but God, is it tiring waiting to get there.
Right. I mean, and the thing too with kids is like they want to be like a part of everybody. Like the idea that they want to like I remember a friend was Brazilian, and my kid asked, "Oh, am I Brazilian too?" No, you're not. Oh, but I'm a little Brazilian, right? No, you're not. But that's I get it. You see them partaking in their culture, and you want to be a part of it. You could do that, but you're not. I'm not gonna lie to him. He's not Brazilian. He on St. Patrick's Day, I explained to him the first St. Patrick's Day where he could understand what it was. He asked me what it was, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a holiday. Irish people celebrate it. Adults like to get drunk, or at least go drinking."
Was he very interested in that part of it?
Oh no, he knows I don't drink, so he thinks drinking is bad, which is good. But he was like, "Oh, Irish. I want to be. I'm Irish too, right?" No, a little bit Irish. I'm a little bit Irish, right? No, no. You're not Irish at all. You could partake in this stuff. That's why they do this stuff. You're welcome to. We can go have some corned beef if you'd like. You're not Irish.
Well, hey, it's been a lovely call. We're pulling out now. I'm in the car, so I don't want to break the law or be distracted while I'm driving.
You let your inner conservative fly. You let your inner conservative fly tonight.
Hypothetically, how much corned beef would you have to eat to become Irish?
Oh, wait, who's on the phone right now?
Meredith.
Wait, what?
That's my friend Meredith.
What's his name?
I'm taking her to get surgery.
Oh, what's her name?
Her name is Meredith. I'm taking her to
Meredith?
get surgery.
Hey, Meredith.
Yes.
I mean, I guess if you combine the corned beef with the cabbage and drink green beer and then throw some, mashed potatoes or shepherd's pie or something like that. I don't know, some really Irish, mix it all together, then maybe at the end of your meal, you'll be like 0.001% Irish.
This is some pagan ritual.
Yeah, every full moon I turn into an Irishman.
You're on a live stream, Meredith. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later, Matt. Take
care, Ren. And nice talk with you too, Meredith, who's now 0.001% Irish. Take care. I realized I didn't get to finish my what I was saying about Ren's inner conservative streaming from a car. It's a very conservative thing to do. Conservatives love their dashboard videos. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Rob from Indiana.
Hey, Rob from Indiana. What's up? What would you like to talk about?
So I actually got to your show like super late, and I just realized I've actually been wanting to call you for like 2 or 3 weeks now, and I keep on missing your show or missing.
Oh, now you're here. Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm working on an article / a video. So I found out the Wilkes brothers, the oil guys, big oil, ultimately funded. Well, they have organizations, that they dump money into, and one of them's anti-LGBTQ, one of them's anti-abortion. But I found out about them from a mini doc, like an 18-minute documentary on YouTube called "Who Funds and Controls the Online Right."
What's it called again? Say that again.
It's called "Who Funds and Controls the Online Right."
Okay, I think I just found it on YouTube, right?
Yeah. So it kind of gives you, well, on the one half, like that explains who they are and what companies they have and fund and whatever. But they've been dumping millions of dollars into anti-LGBTQ, anti-abortion stuff since like 2021. I'm pretty sure, like there's no real connection that I have at this point that shows that they're the ones who started this whole thing, anti-LGBTQ stuff. But they definitely have dumped lots of money into, PragerU or PragerU and the Daily Wire and all these different things. And of course they have one foundation that's called like Heavenly Fathers or Heavenly something.
Always
right.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's always a oh boy, it's always a tell.
So yeah. So anyway, I haven't looked to see if there's any connection to the Wilkes brothers. One's name is Ferris and one's Dan Wilkes. I haven't looked to see if either of them had a connection to anybody in the Supreme Court, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'll just say that. I know one of them, I think it's Ferris, whatever his, whatever the anti-LGBTQ foundation they have was known for doing that like deprogramming of gay people. I can't think of what it's called right now, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been kind of sitting on this information for a little bit. It just so happens that it's right around the time when the climate is like just getting worse and worse. It's one of those like odd coincidences that oil barons are dumping millions of dollars into anti-LGBTQ stuff, and that's what our focus becomes. You know what I mean? That's what people's focus is becoming, like, you know what I mean? Like fighting for one thing and not paying attention to the other, the thing that really matters. So yeah, I've been like slowly working on a video and a article for this, I had mentioned to you before, I'm in the CPUSA, so I do videos for Indiana's CPUSA, and we have the PW, so it'll eventually be on there in those two things, but anyway, the reason I called is because I know you're a journalist. I'm kind of wondering what direction I should go in with this topic, or how I should.
Right. So I don't know exactly what you have, but from what the sounds of it, you're onto something here. I would say, obviously, did you receive this from a source, or you just came across it? You said you just came across it, right?
a friend and I were talking, and I had been recently talking. I've been just personally looking into all the climate stuff since 2020, like basically from 2020 to 2023. More and more scientists have been, meteorologists, climatologists have been warning about the newfound dangers that are coming soon since 2020. And then 2021 is when well, talking to a friend who I do some work with on occasion, he's the one who told me about this video. And so we were kind of talking, and he's like, man, it'd be really interesting to see if we could deep dive this and go into anything, find anything out that it was done purposely, or are they, the Wilks are known as the Cokes of the religious right.
Right.
So, it could be just that they're like this, and it's just something that they're doing. It's their hobby, or it could be that they're actually, attacking the LGBTQ community to avoid the news of what's happening in the climate, because they're big oil, and they're big fracking too.
Right. I mean, I would definitely look further into it. And even if you feel like you don't get to a point where you could answer those specific questions, I think there's still utility in putting out a piece that just lays out your findings without having to come to any sort of specific conclusion as to exactly what the end goal or the purpose of it is. Still connecting those dots and putting them out there is a worthwhile endeavor if you feel like there's something out there. Because, that first report could lead to someone reaching out to you and saying, oh, I'm familiar with this. I, know someone who worked there with them, or here's some more information. So, definitely make sure those connections are solid. And if you can't come to that, that end point you're looking for, that first half is still a worthwhile endeavor to publish. Just don't make any broad conjecture without being able to prove it. Just say, this is what we found. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I haven't looked into if there were any connections to any members of the Supreme Court with the Wilks. I wouldn't doubt it, but you never know. I mean, but I think that
would be something.
Yeah,
that would be something.
I think that would be major.
You'd have quite the you'd have a. You would want to probably not just put that out on YouTube. You'd probably want to contact a major publication and get that out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
So definitely, I would say continue on what you were doing, looking into it, and then if you come to a dead end, I think what you have so far is still worth like a video to put out. Like this is what I've found out about their history of supporting these groups, and you never know what will come out of that. People could reach out with more.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of the names of their organizations off the top of my head, but I know, like I said, Dan and Ferris Wilks are their name, and they have, one is a clearly anti-LGBTQ and one is clearly anti-abortion. And then, of course, everything that's happens with the Supreme Court recently and everything that's been going on with the climate, like, it's just one of those, like, too many coincidences for me, and that's what made it the real story, and I definitely don't plan to, speculate. I definitely want to, make sure it's all facts.
Right. Yeah, go ahead with it, man. I say go for it. I think you got something here, at least for an interesting YouTube video, if not like the breaking news report you're hoping for, which obviously that's what everyone wants, that scoop. But like, you definitely got something for a really interesting video. which can obviously lead to something further too. If you feel like you've already hit that dead end right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have one more extremely important question for
Go
you.
ahead, let's do it.
It's going to be the most important question of the night.
Oh boy.
Recently, I've been looking up. Now, I'm into everything musically,
Okay.
and I remember you on Leftist Mafia once had said, I don't know if I believe everybody's into everything because there is industrial music. I, as a matter of fact, do listen to industrial music.
You do.
Yeah. It's mainly like, so I don't know if you know of Einstürzende Neubauten.
I'm actually not that familiar with industrial music at all. I just
So-
think it's bad.
So, yeah, I mean, it definitely, you definitely have to have a taste for it. But there's bands like Throbbing Gristle, Einstürzende Neubauten, Coil, like those are kind of more what I listen to, like really obscure. But anyway, I've recently been getting into looking up more Chicano or Latino punk.
Ah.
And I'm looking to see if you have any suggestions on anything. Now, I've only just got into this specifically recently, but I'm actually Chicano myself. So yeah, I figured, I don't know, I'm 46 years old now, and like, why don't I have a really good Chicano collection of punk?
Yeah, I actually don't think I do either. Trying to think. Los Crudos is a really good one.
Yeah.
Geez,
have-
that off the top of my head though, that's probably what. I'm looking it up right now. I didn't realize Suicidal Tendencies is considered Latino punk. That's just. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but never really considered them that. What's another band?
One of my favorite
Voodoo Glow Skulls. Although I don't never really considered them that either. Maybe I need to broaden my horizons here as well.
Aren't they from Jersey?
I'm looking and I see them listing. They're listed here as. Let me look up.
Well, I mean, I'm originally from Jersey. I used to go to Philly and New York and North Jersey for shows all the time.
They're from California, Riverside, California.
Okay.
So they might have
somebody else then. Anyway, yeah, one of my favorites recently that I just kind of discovered is the Plugs, even though they're kind of pretty popular. I never knew them.
Yeah, that's Oh wait, I'm sorry. I've now fallen into this rabbit hole of of looking at look what you've done to me. Plugs is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to be a part of a group. I shouldn't say I used to be because I'm sure I'd still be welcome, but I'm actually part of a group called Punks for Progress.
Oh, cool! I like that. I like the name of that.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of old punk rockers that it was originally Punks for Bernie. And then eventually it was changed to Punks for Progress. And it's all a bunch of old punk rockers and that are politically active, activists. A lot of the guys that started it you can actually find clips where the guys that I was working with, some of the people I work with were like interviewed by like Alex Jones people. What's that? InfoWars and stuff. And they're just harassing InfoWars real bad and totally Antifa and everything. I mean, we're all, like I said, we're all pretty much activists, which is kind of funny because I feel like the more activist the more militant, I don't want to say militant in a bad way, but the more strict
yeah,
you
I get what
are,
you're saying. Right.
yeah, it seems like YouTube does not like those channels at all.
Right.
Punctual
Yeah.
Progress isn't really that big at all, even though we have literally an international following. We're not, you know, we're not really big at all. I'm
Well, it's cool to hear about. I appreciate you sharing. I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah.
Great name. Great name though.
Yeah. We have the What the Fuck reports. Well, we don't. The main guy does. His name's Aaron, but he basically plays old punk albums and does, reports of the news. So it's kind of like this video blog, radio show kind of, so to speak. I'm specifically in Indiana P4P, which is one of the video channels I was doing. By no means are we a really good channel. We're very punk rock DIY, but we're out. We were out for 3 or 4 years doing different things, and somebody else actually took over the channel for a while. So we haven't put. I don't know what's going on with it right now. And then because I do the Indiana CPUSA video channel, which is very small. I mean, ultimately, we don't really push for that to be a monetized or anything. So it's just kind of informational and, what's out there.
It sounds. Do you have a website?
Indiana P4P. I don't remember. Gosh, we have a blog spot. I think it's Critical Thought Critique at blogspot.com. I'm not 100% sure. Whatever.
I'll look it up. No problem. All right. It was. Send me the link if you have it. By the way, just drop it in the Skype chat. I appreciate the call and great talking with you. And please feel free to call in anytime. It was a great call.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great night.
My 3rd or 4th time calling in, so
yeah,
it's been
awesome. Always love talking. Take care.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, it's getting to be that. Geez, I just realized we're 2 minutes away from my birthday. All right, let's the last call tonight, I guess, maybe, right? Hey, is this who I think it is?
It is the corn guy, Kowalski.
Hello, Kowalski. Are you using your video or just audio tonight?
Just audio.
Right,
my camera looks awful.
That's all
well,
good.
I look awful.
So you'll be the last person to talk with me as a 36-year-old. Congratulations.
Oh, yes. I was going to ask you about that. Is your birthday tomorrow or right now?
August 23rd. As of midnight, it will be the day of my birth.
Ooh, that means I will be here for the transition. This is incredible.
Yeah,
well,
you're gonna see me morph into a 37-year-old. It might be ugly. I have to warn you. Who knows what will happen? The second we're a minute away, the second that clock strikes 12, I can completely go gray. All the hair on my head might fall out. You might see crow's feet grow in as we speak. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we will watch as the wrinkles shrivel my body. Let's let's wait and see. What's up, Kowalski? What do I talk about?
Well, actually, I was only calling in because it is your birthday, so this makes you a Leo. That's your zodiac sign.
Does it? I have no idea. I'll believe you if that's what you say.
Well, at least that's what I'm reading here on the internet. Now, good news for you. That means your element is fire, and you are a lion. So, I do kind of see it. You do have the lion's mane going on.
Hell
now,
yeah.
I personally am a Libra, and Libra's elements, air. So I'd like to imagine whenever I come into contact with you, I'm just adding air to this fire and, you burn brighter for the whole world.
There we go. I like that. I'm gonna take that. And it's that perfect way to go into the day, because it's now midnight, August 23rd, 2023.
Happy birthday from all of us to you.
Whoa! Thank you for doing the non-copyrighted version. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we don't want to get your stream brought down.
Guess I'll give myself one of these. There we go. Happy birthday to me.
The one thing I was going to add, though, is that with your zodiac, there are zodiac signs that you are more compatible with. Now, one of the signs that you are supposedly most compatible with is Aries. Now, that being said, I've looked up the time frame in which you are in Aries, which is late March, early April. So, which disaster do you think you are more closely associated with? The start of the Civil War? FDR's death? Or the sinking of the Titanic? Which one do you feel like you have more of a connection to? Or I can go into all these mass shootings, but they don't seem as entertaining.
I don't know. I guess maybe Titanic? The Titanic, maybe? Maybe only because of the movie and... I don't know. Really, I don't know. I can't. That's a hard one. I probably. I mean, the Titanic was no, that was not closer. That'd be FDR's death. I don't know.
You also have the assassination of President Lincoln.
Oof. Wait, why do I have these choices again? What's the reasoning?
Because you are most compatible with an Aries, according to the horoscopes. So,
and when are people from Aries born Aries born?
I think it's like March 22nd to April 20th.
Oh, I'm not even with an Aries, so it doesn't make any sense. That's wrong. Unless you're telling me for my birthday that there's really someone else out there for me, which will not go over well. No, let's. I don't know. I guess. Geez. I don't know. That's a hard one. Maybe Lincoln. I don't know. Why? What does that say about me? Is it not good?
I don't know. I have no idea what this means. I mean, it's zodiac.
I mean, you all
none
you all
of this
know,
means anything.
Right. You all know my feelings about it. Whenever it comes up on like leftist mafia or whatever, it's bullshit. It's why are we even paying attention to it? I don't even know why I'm humoring you right now. You very sneakily got that in there, got the zodiac sign stuff in there by saying we're talking about my birthday. And I was like, oh, okay, let's hear this.
Well, that's just, that's a very Leo thing for you to say, if we're being perfectly honest, and as a Libra, I'm trying to balance the situation but no, I'm not. This stuff is almost completely meaningless. The only good thing we ever got out of zodiac signs is the 12-month calendar system, which is the perfect system.
I thought you were going to say the killer.
The only good freedom fighter is John Brown.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Kowalski,
I'm glad I could humor you. Have a happy birthday.
It was a pleasure talking with you. Yeah. Thank you for being the person to bring in the 37 years of my life with. Couldn't think of a better person to to start with. Thank you. Maybe that means at 37 I will find myself living on a farm by the end of the year. We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll become a homesteader.
This does mean you are 8 years my senior, so...
Don't, jeez. I'm a senior. You call me a senior. Okay, I get it. All right, have a great night, Kowalski.
I don't think you understand how that language works, but have a good night.
No, I know. I'm 8 years older than you. I get it. I'm just also, yeah. Have a great night, Kowalski.
Bye.
Take care. All right, everyone. Oh, I saw the birthday wishes going flying. I really appreciate it. It's the listen. It's like a slower time. August is like the slowest month. Period. I already can tell. I mean, you could feel it at work if you know, no matter what you do. I'm sure. People are away all throughout the month. I see it in the streams. I see it in definitely see it in the Patreon and the YouTube revenue. But it's it's definitely the slowest month. So being born in August, I always mix out throughout my life. I missed out on the school birthday celebrations, the cupcakes in school, the school birthday parties. Missed out on all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for being there to wish me happy birthday as if I was back in school. Who's calling me right now? I'll take one more call. It's got to be short. Got to be quick. Got to be quick. Hey, what's your name? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh my God. My audio is probably all messed up.
No, you sound great. You're actually the clearest person who's called in so far.
Oh, sweet.
It's pretty funny that you said that. What's up? What's your name? What would you like to talk about?
Well, this is Chris from Michigan. I used to call in occasionally, and it's been quite a while. I told you that I would send you the Mount Gox NFT that they had distributed to people who were destroyed in their bankruptcy proceedings.
Oh, you got it?
No, I didn't. I don't care.
You didn't get it.
I called. Part of my reason of calling is to apologize for me not caring enough to to collect that. But no, really, actually, no. I just heard Kowalski talking, and yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, I have zero reason to be calling tonight. I just called to say hi.
Listen, the fact that you were listening to the show and letting me know that you were listening to the show by calling in.
Yeah, I mean,
because you didn't know to call into the show if you weren't watching.
Like it's got to count for something, right? In mad respect to Kowalski. Well, actually, when I heard him talking, Kowalski and I have a lot in common. I'm also a very strong Libra, just like Kowalski. We lost our fathers at young ages. We both hate NFTs and techno bros. Like Kowalski and I are like identical twins separated at birth type thing.
Do you live on a farm?
No, I grew up next to a farm. Clearly I was sent off for adoption from Nebraska to Michigan, and I was destined. I should have been on Kowalski's farm, but I mean, again, I'm just. I have no reason to call, and I definitely did not expect you to pick up.
No, I appreciate the call. I enjoy letting you know that. I enjoy you letting me know that you have this.
That I'm letting you know that I have no reason to call.
That you have this this sort of parallel life to Kowalski, and it's good to know that you were listening to the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I think you and I should chat about doing a unofficial sideshow where I give non-medical advice for medical advice issues for helping Americans deal with bullshit issues within the American healthcare system, as far as like fighting with insurance companies or finding medications that are cheaper than what they're prescribed, cheaper alternatives and stuff. We should maybe consider that, but obviously the legal issues. That's why we have hashtag.
Probably gotta workshop that idea out a little bit, right? Yeah.
That's why you gotta hashtag everything not medical advice. It's just like
right. That's how. Yeah.
I heard my one buddy say one time that maybe if you asked for. Anyhow, yeah. Sorry to bother you.
No bother at all. Have a great night.
I just don't have anything else to say. I didn't expect to call and get.
Hey, you don't gotta say another word.
My microphone was not working. So anyhow, take care, everyone. Take care, Kowalski, fellow strong Libra in Nebraska out there. And yeah, I'll be listening and catch up with you all later.
Have a great night. Thanks for the call.
Yep. If I get the NFT, I will definitely send it to you. And no screenshots, please. Nobody else can take screenshots.
That was a great delivery, by the way. That was really good.
I'm
Have a,
serious. No screenshots.
have a great night.
All right, take care, guys. Talk to you later.
Oh my god, that delivery was that was good. All right, let's take the super chats. Oh, thank you for the reminder, whoever just Logan. Sigil dropped that GoFundMe link for her friend's medical fund. I promised I would drop it in the chat. Let me do that right now, the YouTube chat. Read the details, see if you want to help out and donate. Always looking to help others on this show. And so use whatever small platform I've got. All right, let's read the super chats. Charlie DeGenemer with a $5 super chat. Happy 37th, bud. Don't you dare say that's old, because that's my age. LOL. It's old. I'm sorry, Charlie. Renee with a super chat. Happy birthday, Matapacos. Hope you're feeling better. Like I said, it's definitely better than last week, and last week was definitely better than the week before. It's getting there. It's definitely going away. Obviously, I can't ride boats. My body takes too long to adjust to it. At least I can't ride boats for a long period of time. My body takes a long time to get adjusted to the land again. I'm fine. I bet by next week or the week after, it'll be completely gone. I hope. Tokyo Hans with a super chat with 500 yen. Happy birthday from the future. By the way, don't drink the second soda tomorrow. It has poison in it. Thank you. Wanda with a $20 super chat. Happy 37th birthday. Crazy as you are to spend it watching the Republican debate. LOL, much love. I wish the Republican debate wasn't tomorrow on my birthday, because I would prefer not to watch it, but it's also the Republican debate. I cannot watch it. It's like my job. Narrator with a $20 super chat. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, everybody, for this. This is really too kind. Charlie DeGenemer with another super chat. Hey, Hansi, code for you. Oh, with the blue sky code for Hansi. Hansi, check that out if you hope you saw it. Where is no. Where's Renee with a super chat? It's almost like Elon force-fed the Twitter files, right? Talking about the conversation we had earlier about Doug Lane. Naomi Chance with a super chat. Found out about you through your bad empanada debate. Kudos to you for sticking up to that psycho. Well, Naomi, thank you for giving me a reason for looking back and saying that debate was worth it, because you found me. I appreciate it. I don't know what his deal is. I wish he wasn't like that, because from what I saw, from what I understand, he was putting out good content many years ago. I don't know what happened to that guy. Daredevil with a super chat. You did say Rosebud. I'm an idiot. Oh, you went back and checked it out. Of course I said Rosebud. What did you think I called the sled? But you're not an idiot. Maybe you are. Celeste with the super chat. Hola, what food did you eat in Mexico? Hope you had fun. It was at a resort. So, like, resort food. Nothing like, no, like, legit cuisine. I mean, I'm sure the Mexican food was good, but the sushi on the resort was even better. So, to give you a better idea, they literally had everything you could think of. A whole assortment of foods, not really like the local cultural cuisine. Although they did have some of that, and I did eat it, and it was good, but I doubt that was like the legit stuff. Drew Parker with a super chat. Happy birthday, Binder. Thank you so much. Kowalski with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Kowalski. And Kowalski follows it up with a super chat. 37 is a prime number. You deserve prime memberships. That's right. I'll get to the Twitch memberships shortly. Logan Hill with a $10 super chat. Happy birthday. And also a reminder for the Sigil's GoFundMe link. Drop that in the chat there. Also, over on YouTube, La-Di Da just became a YouTube member via the YouTube join button. Thank you so much. Oh, and look who just joined over at Patreon. Eagle Left just became a patron while the show is live. Thank you so much, Eagle Left. I'm pretty sure that's Usama. Thank you so much, Usama. Once again, if you'd like to support my work, what I do, the show, the live stream, the podcast, doomed scam economy, whatever, patreon.com/mattbinder, youtube.com/mattbinder. Those are the Patreon's really the preferred place if you're looking to get the most money to me. They take the smallest cut. Fully understand if you're a regular person on the live stream and want to take advantage of the emotes that you get for becoming a YouTube member. You know, the emotes like these ones I'm about to drop right here in the chat. And I'm going to put more up soon too. And I'm going to put them on the Twitch too. So I totally get that if that's your preferred place. That's why I opened up multiple membership avenues. Now, over on Twitch, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get a free membership to give to your favorite Twitch subscriber every month. That's right. It doesn't cost you anything. And you get your favorite creator paid. Dr. Gus, DVM, resubscribed with Prime. They've been subscribed for 8 months. Thank you so much, Dr. Gus. Valanova gave out 5 community gift subs over on Twitch, too. Thank you so much, Valanova. Valanova also cheered 500 bits. Thank you so much, Valanova. And again, thank you, Dylan Burns, for the raid earlier. That was a weird nasally noise that just came out of my mouth. Andrew with a super chat. I'm 35 on Saturday, Matt. Happy birthday, Left is Best. Happy birthday, Andrew. Randall Smith with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Randall. Really appreciate it. And I think that's everything. I got the patrons. Patreon.com/MattBinder. I got the YouTube subs. YouTube.com/MattBinder. I got the Twitch subs. Twitch.tv/MattBinder. All right. And as always, if you decide to become a member, become a patron after the show ends, I, of course, will shout you out on the next episode. Absolutely, 100%. Valanova with a $5 super chat. You're a Virgo on the cusp. One of the few times Kowalski was wrong. Happy birthday. Oh, am I a Virgo? I have no idea. Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Really. And I'll be on tomorrow. To do the wait, what? What's going on over here? Wait, did I say who said that Virgo comment? Marla Surratt. Thank you so much, Marla. That was the comment about I'm a Virgo on the cusp. All right. That's the show. It's my birthday. I'm going to go to sleep. Well, first I got to get this episode up as a podcast because this is not an episode I can get up late because, like, tomorrow even, because then it's already going to be losing that relevancy that it's going to, get that pre-Rumble hosting the Republican primary debate push. So let me go get this episode up. Who should I raid over on Twitch? Who should I raid? Got 70 people still hanging out. Let's see who's on. Who am I raiding over on Twitch? Let's see. I see Hamozy Goat's on. Conyor is on. USA Hole. Amy EC3. It's gonna be. Who haven't I? I haven't rated Kanye in a while. I don't think. Out of all the people on that list, I think they are the person whom I've rated the longest to go. So that's who I'm going to give it to. Oh, thank you for that last minute super chat. The Prof. 1 a.m. All right, I'm going to sleep. Right, yeah, we're not going another 40 minutes. Although, with me, you never know, you know? I always find a way to to keep pushing it, don't I? But no, I'm now going to sleep after I raid Kanye and then get this podcast up. I will see you all. Well, first of all, again, thanks for all the happy birthday wishes. See you tomorrow, and then on Thursday on the Majority Report and Leftist Mafia. Until then, I will see you all next time. On Lanzetta says, Binder, keep dancing for the super chats. I'm too tired. I don't even know what I was doing there. Good night, everybody. See you all next time on Doomed.